You are listening to the Lucha Central Podcast Network. And now, LuchaCentral.com presents Masks, Mats, and Mayhem.
Well, you don't want to eat a birthday flower if it's very prepared. When you're in hibernate, they actually
Welcome to another edition of Masks, Mats, and Mayhem. I am your host, the Outlaw LA Red. You can find me on social media at JustinHarvey75. You people out there, you people. Oh, I like to say you people. Byron hates that when I say
I can't say it, and I'm mad.
You people.
You can.
Yes, I can say it. You people can find the entire show. That means all of it, like all of the things that we do, the things that are out there, the things upon things. If you want to chat with us on social media, if you want to say hello, if you want to answer one of our polls or surveys, you can find us at MMM Show 75. That's 3 M's, a show, and a 75. And that is on all of them, like IG, on Twitter, on Facebook, OnlyFans.
We're no longer on Parler.
We're not on No,
I'm still trying to, I haven't been watching the news, but I forgot my password. I can't log in.
You can't log in on your Parler account? Oh my God. How are we going to coordinate things?
On the MMM Show Parler, so I got to troubleshoot that, but I'll get back to you.
Well, at least you haven't been banned from Facebook yet, which I'm sure that check is in the mail.
I've been banned from some wrestlers' Twitters and from at least one day.
I'm surprised Meatloaf still has social media accounts. Yeah, man, you want to talk? Like, I'm starting to believe everyone that thinks that they were unfairly removed from Facebook is absolutely correct, because everything that Meatloaf has ever said on Facebook was 5 times worse.
Mm-hmm. Do you see his face?
It's totally a conspiracy.
Like, for the audio listeners, I'll let you go in a second, but for the audio listeners, I need to accurately describe how Meef's face started glowing the second Justin started talking about this big smile ear to ear.
Because he knows it's true.
It is. I actually got banned, but I got banned on Facebook for talking about cutting through an alleyway to go to a cinema.
That's what gets you banned?
Yeah.
Because I can think of a lot of other things that I would have banned you for.
For some strange reason, that's what they banned me for. I got flagged up on it because I was talking about cutting through where my sister's house was to go to the cinema.
Oh, you were talking about active trespassing.
No. Literally, like there's a road that goes down behind some buildings. Or it's where my sister used to live. On the other side of the street, it's like a one-way street, and at the end of it is an alleyway, which we call Ginnel, and you go through it, and it takes you to the retail park where the cinema was.
Mm-hmm. This all sounds super duper creepy and Byron.
No.
I know. Hold on.
And going into a cinema. And I use the phrase cutting through.
Why does Brandon Cutler look like Drago coming to the ring? That's really upsetting.
Because Brandon Cutler is a good utility man in that his wife does the wardrobe, so he gets the best ones.
His lady does the wardrobe.
And he films BTE, so he gets to have angles on dark, which he deserves, I guess. But anyway, I had something horrible to say, but the moment's gone.
All right. Well, look, a couple things I wanted to talk about. The very first thing I wanted to address is I got a hateful DM about why we and me in particular are always hating on Prince Puma. And asked if it was because of how he left Lucha Underground, knowing that we are in fact kind of Lucha Underground marks. But I have to say first, right off the bat, that it is in no way related to how he left Lucha Underground. And I also want to say that I don't mind razzing the guy a little bit because he's super duper successful. He's a great wrestler. Like Ricochet, come on. Ricochet's a great wrestler. It's all in fun to a certain extent, but you can't feel bad about us razzing the guy over his promo work. Seriously.
I see. Also, you gotta look at the track record. Like, number one, we razz his promo and his character work, which I'm sorry. Like, do you watch the program? Like,
I'm pretty sure he is
about it.
He is the reason that Fogelman told Van Wagenen, like, none of your guys are talking on my show because these guys are crap talkers. Because they paid all this money to get Ricochet in there, and then Fogelman heard him cut a promo, and he's like, "These are the guys you hired."
But I will say this about him, and I do bring it up, and then Casey interrupts me and always brings up the one Miedo moment. But I will say that and I've said this before, that some of my favorite Lucha Underground moments are Ricochet matches, or Ricochet moments of being ringside for Ricochet, Prince Puma versus Rey Mysterio Jr. Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Guess how much I paid for that ticket? $0.
None times $none.
It's like, that was like, and I also loved his New Japan stuff, and he never got a serious run in New Japan because he was always on the fence there and not committed. If he signed a long-term contract, he would have gotten a serious junior title run, I'm sure. And that was another spot where he was utilized to his skill set. That was the
only long-term contract he decided not to sign.
Right. And also in NXT, I thought he was coming in, and I'm like, this dork is gonna just bomb in WWE. And he comes in, and he's a goddamn superhero straight out of a comic book, and he does that flippy thing out of the ring for a promo. Everyone went, oh, even though Will Ospreay did the same thing in the match a week later, and it didn't mean anything. But he was incredible in NXT. He was incredible in New Japan, and he was the man in Lucha Underground. So,
yeah, absolutely. Like, look, there's nothing. What's that, Meef?
He's done nothing since he left NXT.
I agree. Like, look, he does the awesome flip out of the ring spot. Like, he's a super highlight machine, and then all of a sudden you get like a little run with the Aleister Black thing, which was kind of cool. But now both of them are kind of just in the dark places.
Hey, did you guys see the suplex, the slingshot suplex with AJ Styles into the Styles Clash?
Yes. Yes.
Oh my God. See, that is what you use him for. You put him in those matches with those guys, and you get those gifable moments. Like, he can't have a character story type moment, but you could put him in the ring with your top talent, and that gif is going to go crazy. That clip on YouTube is going to go crazy.
He's a faction guy. Let's face it. You got to put him in the right faction. There's a reason they paired him up with Conan initially in Lucha Underground, and all his best storylines after that were storylines where you could just ride off of him being the hot ticket into a match, and the other guy was doing all the work, whether it was Mundo or Ray or whoever. You know, somebody else was doing all the promo work, and all you needed to ride on was, hey, this is the greatest luchador in Lucha Underground or whatever.
He still had the belt on him. He didn't need a storyline. He had the belt.
What is that?
That's not me.
Are you building a house, me folks?
That's my cat going for a shit.
Oh, is he's doing the scrapey thing?
Can I ask you guys, have you ever had a litter box in your bathroom? So, like, while you're taking a shit, your cat walks in and looks at you and then takes another shit?
Yeah.
My cat goes nuts at our door, so we have to take him into the bathroom with us.
Yeah. How about this one? How about this one, though? Have you ever been taking a shit and you see your cat stroll in and then sit in your bathtub and take a piss?
No.
Have you ever been?
Okay, I teach my animals a little bit better than that, Byron.
Have you been laid in the bath and your cat's jumped up onto the side? You shit yourself because you're thinking, I'm going to lose my dick. When this thing falls in the water, and thrashes like a shark, I'm losing my dick. She jumped on my chest and curled up underwater.
Wow.
No.
Her head was out, obviously. You know,
you don't want to lose that.
I'm fat, so the water doesn't go too above me. But
people have
she curled up on my chest. Just curled up on my chest, went to sleep, purred away.
Wow. You people have insane animals. Hey, look, a quick important thing that I want to get in early and often in this episode. Until January 31st, you people, again, you people have the opportunity to do the right thing by us. Finally, all these years, you've never done the right thing by us. You guys didn't buy enough of our ball shaving stuff. You guys haven't bought enough t-shirts. You guys make Casey mad constantly. But now is your chance to make up for all of that. And also, we just love you guys. And most of you listening probably have already done this, but I believe you can keep voting. So until January 31st, there is a poll for the Lucha Libre Awards of the Year as given by luchacentral.com. And we are nominated, in fact, for one of those awards against, I don't know, some other shows. Anyway, it is the very last category of what? What's that?
Is one of those shows one of Kevin's shows?
No, it isn't. Kevin,
that'd be an uphill battle.
Because you know why? Because Kevin can't do his show consistently enough. The Lucha Central Podcast Network has like 8 or 9 shows, and there's only 4 on there because there's only 4 of us that have even done it consistently enough. And I believe even one of those is not doing episodes currently. But whatever. So I'll tell you right now, the competition is the Lucha Central Weekly, the other Lucha Central Weekly.
Those are good ones.
Which, they're both good shows. One's in Spanish, one's in English. And
I like the Spanish
Brendan
one.
And Dusty and Miranda, I give a shout out to them because I listen to them quite frequently on the weekly.
When I listen to the Spanish one, I get to make up my own Lucha news.
And I think, what is the other one? Fabi Chulo's show? I don't even know what the 4th one is.
There's the Bodega one and there's the Dos Hermanos one.
I don't think those are on there, though, because they haven't been running as regularly. There's only 4 shows on there. Anyway, you can go check it out. You can vote your conscience, but I am saying vote for us. I am begging, please vote for us. We never win anything. Byron pays for half the show out of his pocket. I pay for the other half of it. We do this thing as a just a passion, love, I don't know, insanity. We've been doing this thing for 152 frigging episodes now. Trying our best. I watch like 9 hours of wrestling a week just to be able to talk on this show. I don't even like wrestling. I don't even know why I watch. Actually, I like wrestling.
All right, Casey.
I like. I'm just saying it because Casey's not here to defend not liking wrestling.
Casey says Casey will say wrestling is dumb. Wrestling fans are dumber, and then you'll go, "Hey, here's something wrestling," and then he goes and lists off some sort of historical thing about it, and we'll talk to you for like 2 hours about wrestling.
Right, but here's the thing: if you want to keep Casey on the show, because he's already completely had it with this show, he's never going to listen to this anyway. His segment's coming up later, so maybe, but I doubt it. Anyway, yeah, and Casey is still going to be on the show this week, and he phoned something in for us. But look, if you want to keep Casey on this show, you want to keep us doing the show, we got to win this award. Just this one little thing, like. Kleinrock's going to like make a grilled cheese and then let it sit outside until it turns into stone and give us some kind of award. And the Spanish God is on behind me, which is great promo, by the way. Anyway, so you got to help us win. Here's what you have to do. You have to go take this survey. You can fill out your best matches. You can vote for Thunder Rosa and Rey Fénix and Santos Escobar and Penta El Cerro and Bandito and all your favorite luchadors and their matches and the few things that did happen last year. You can vote on all that stuff. And then the very last question is Lucha Central Podcast Network Podcast of the Year. We've been up against 9, 10, 11, 12 of these other people. 4 of us got selected to be on this poll. And damn it, this show needs to win. That interview with Conan alone that we did, we deserve to win. It's the most watched thing from any of the podcasts this whole year. We should win. But the only way for that to happen is you got to go through the thing. We're the very last thing. We're the very last choice you can make on the entire friggin' survey because I believe the deck is stacked against us. They hate us. Our overlords hate us. I know Kevin hates us.
He makes you have to go through 5 pages to get that one vote that people
care about. I know, because he buried us. He always buries us. Ruben probably hates us too, but I don't know that for a fact because the man won't even take my phone call.
I like Ruben.
But I don't know if I like Ruben or not. He's just another faceless overlord. They won't take our calls. They don't care about us. We're just here because they have nothing better to do with us. I met Ruben. Powerless.
I met Ruben at Bola 15. He gave me the He gave me the Drago mask that I bought online from them, and then I showed up and he had a bunch of them. He's like, "Which one do you want?" And I'm like, "I'll take."
Okay, Ruben's high.
Ruben's pretty dope, and he was there with Conan.
But I'm just saying, I don't know one way or the other. They're just our overlords, and our overlords have conspired to bury us on this particular poll, and that's why we want to take it to them, take it to the man, and show him that we can win this thing. So all you Phantasmaniacus, what Escobar, Centaurians, Escobarbarians.
If you like the show, if you don't like the show, just vote for us because if we win, it's gonna piss a lot of people off.
Yes, come on.
Exactly the main point.
Rattle the cages. You know it'll do us more. Anyway, so
has been an
enough is enough, and it's time for a change.
Anyway, so the place to do that is luchacentral.com/2020 awards/. Go there. And you can vote for us, and you'll see it on our tweeters and our other places. We'll put it up on our IG, maybe even. Go there, vote for us. It's important. Hey, so sad news. we had a death this week of Larry King. That's not the sad news, though. Larry King once cut me off when I was trying to go into this lawyer's office back when I was represented by Endeavor and literally almost killed me. He almost ran me off the road, that old son of a bitch. He comes right in front of me for this parking spot in his Jaguar S-Type or whatever he was driving at the time. I don't know what it was. Then he gets his old craggly ass out, goes in, makes me have to wait longer because he showed up unannounced to talk to this same lawyer. Needless to say, I didn't even go with this lawyer. I went with a different firm. It was Spielberg's lawyers. They were way better anyway. But that guy, and then in the lobby, the girl comes out with a water for me. He takes it like Larry King, biggest dick. I'm not saying I'm happy that he's dead, but I'm saying that he's not the death that I was concerned with this week.
Hold on, Justin. Can I just say I might have to edit this out? I know we're in Biden's America, but still, when a rich white man dies and a black man is like, hey, here's my motive, by the way.
No, it's not that. I wasn't responsible. I've been in Cleveland.
No, I got 5 people. I got 5 people can vouch for me. It wasn't me.
It wasn't me. I was around white people that day. It wasn't me. It's fine. But anyway, what I'm saying is, God bless him. He did a lot of work in entertainment. He had a legacy, and he's gone now. And he cut me off that one time, that son of a bitch.
I admire that.
Annabelle Jr. died as well from COVID.
I did hear about that, which was one of the other ones I was going to get to, which sucks. COVID-related deaths. I had a friend pass away this week. This kid, Kevin Horschler, he was a PA on Only in America with Larry the Cable Guy show I did for a couple years, and he was good friends with a lot of our friends that are in the reality business. So safe travels, brother. Godspeed. Kevin was super, super solid dude, and was young too. I believe he was in his early 30s. He got the COVID, and it just took him. There's so many people in LA with it right now. I've got at least 40 friends in the entertainment industry now. Which before I was amazed, like in November and December when I just knew of 40 people in general that had it. Now I have 40 like friends in Los Angeles area alone that have it. Like a lot of people who work in the entertainment industry, and some of these people are, mask wearing, stay in the house, risk averse, haven't done jack in 10 months kind of people, and somehow it's creeping up on them. I don't even know how these people are getting it. Like my buddy Eric Weingrad, who also worked on Only America with us, no clue how he got it. He's like, I go to the store once a week. Like, that's it. That's all he does.
Well, the problem is it's the dickheads who decide against wearing a mask, because the whole idea is the mask doesn't stop you from getting it; it stops you from giving it.
I had a friend.
Stay safe out there, Byron. Please.
I had a friend who got it, who has a kid, and him and his wife. His wife works from home, and he is handling the kid in between jobs, and they're locked down tight. And then they hung out with with his in-laws one time without a mask. That was the one time. And the in-laws, everyone says, I'm being careful, but that means different things to different people. Yes. And like the in-laws to this day will deny they ever had it, but they did have a cold like the week prior.
They had the mild version of it and didn't even think about it, did they?
No. That's the problem as well. You have people coming. I obviously working in a shop is hilariously great, and you have people coming in with like colds and stuff, and like sneezing and coughing and being like, okay, but still, I personally, if I had a cold, wouldn't even. I'd be like, nah, fuck that shit. I ain't leaving the house. Just out of people going, oh my god, keep away from that guy, but also just out of common courtesy because it could be something.
Man, I can feel your cat purring in my sack. That's cool.
Oh, I like that.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, kitty.
You do realize, Justin, for your own time, early speech, he's arseholes on the TV.
So
do we have to make your fucking cats our co-hosts now?
They are, man. They take over. Mine is locked out of the door right now. I can hear him out there like, oh, everybody else's cat is on the show. How come I'm not on the show?
My cat is in. I make her.
Bill.
My cat.
Would Billy, you stroke me? I'd stroke me hard.
Back there, she's sleeping in a blanket that I put on the ground.
Oh, you mean Billy, who once peed on her feet and walked all over a pizza, and then you fed it to me and Casey? Oh, thanks, Billy. Hi.
Just there for you, Byron.
She didn't do that. I bought a tremendous pizza from North Hollywood from Big Mama's and Papa's Pizza. and great name. And I ate it, and I was great. And then you and Casey were sick.
Right,
so-
because you ate it before you sent your unsanitary animal to walk all over the food. Listen, but that's beside the point. I want to do a quick wall of fame, wall of shame. I'm not going to go through the entire list, mostly because I don't have it in front of me. But I just want everyone to know we did not actually put Rey Fénix on the wall of shame last week. I suggested it, but I think we all determined that we can't really put Rey Fénix on there because he's like the best wrestler in the world, right? Are we agreed? Rey Fénix is not, even though he's got his trademark issues, we hope that he gets his name. I don't think it's really his fault. I just think he should have jumped on some of this stuff a little bit sooner. But I think he's doing the right thing. He's trying to protect his brand, and so far he's just got to work on it. By the way, this Sammy Guevara promo right here on AEW Dark, I don't know if you watched it or not, but he takes his shoulder to the camera and he's like, do you see this? Do you see all the pain I'm having here? Do you know what this is? This is from the weight of holding all of AEW on my shoulder. It's amazing. Great promo. I'm glad they're letting Sammy talk. And every time
I had some football shame, but
he's wrestling Aussie Suicide in this thing, which that's a whole other story. Which El Australiano.
Yeah.
Do you think Ozzy? Do you think he showed up in his regular gear, and they're like, "Come on, man!
Come on, man! Put on this Tassily Shakira thing."
Billy they're like, don't like. First of all, Green Day's my favorite band.
When September comes, it's January.
But it's like
you can't dress like that. No.
Even as a Green Day fan, it's like, first of all, American Idiot came out, and you wear the black, button up with the short sleeves and the red tie, and everyone wears it, and then. What happens is a year later, you're going to a restaurant, all the waiters are wearing that same outfit, right? And then
that's what waiters wear.
15 years later, this guy's trying to be punk rock wearing the same outfit. It's like, come on, man.
I know, come on for real.
What's the name in the Australian girl? Maybe it's an Australian thing. The Australian girl from WWE. She's now in Riot Squad.
Chelsea? Well, they're all Australian.
There's like 12 of them now.
Riot Squad.
Oh, Billy Kay. I love what she's doing.
Billy Kay dressing like Avril Lavigne and calling it punk rock. She's on the wall of shame.
But that's great. But see, that's intentional to get heat.
Is it? Don't
it is.
A lot of girls.
Billy, no.
But then she's making fun of them.
Billy Kay is so much smarter than you think. That is all 100%.
I mean, she's Australian, so...
Oh, you are just so awful. I see where you're going.
Fleas can't even pass underneath that bar.
But so here's what I got to do for the wall of shame. Sports Illustrated for misreporting certain things about Rush and his involvement with Mass Republic.
Toro Blanco.
I'm just gonna, you know what? I'm gonna put bogus wrestling media in general on the wall of shame because there's been a lot of just nonsense, bad reporting. People reporting about Rush going to WWE and then not going to WWE, and it's just like all over the place. And it's like, bro, just report the actual story. He had a meeting and nobody knows how it's gone. He hasn't even talked to his own people about it yet, and most likely is just not going to WWE. So why are you reporting a story that's not a story yet? It's not a story yet. Like, people have meetings in the wrestling business every week. I get it. You're a dirt sheet. You got to go out and find some stuff. But come on, man.
Clickbait.
It's another symptom of Biden's America. There just isn't enough news anymore.
I guess that's what it is.
Look, just because you nicked a podium, right, doesn't mean you start coming on in and doing this.
Well, look, I think that bogus wrestling media is definitely going to be on the wall of shame. And as far as Rush goes, like, I hope that he does end up somewhere else. If he had some talks with WWE, that's always a good thing because that may raise your market somewhere else. I think it paid off for Karrion Kross. He had a couple of meetings and decided not to go with them because it wasn't enough money at first. It's probably the same thing with Rush. They want to put you on a developmental contract. They want you to prove that you're worth what you say you're worth. They're never going to give you the big money. But the thing is, you have to know that if you're going to WWE, there is a chance of a huge upside, and you've got to figure out the right time. And Rush is probably right to not go right now. He's probably not quite hot enough yet to get the right deal. You saw Kross held off for a little while, finished out a little Impact stuff, or had his shenanigans with Impact over there.
But he went
around for a while, talked to AEW, and then went back to him and said, "Hey guys, I'm ready to come in now. I'd love to see this and this happen." And they said, "Well, if you can do this and this, then we'll put you in some opportunities to make the kind of money you're looking for. We're not going to give you that money walking in the door. You're not some next big thing. There is no such thing as a next big thing with WWE. They're going to make you the next big thing if they want you to be the next big thing, and they have a way that they test that out." And Rush, honestly, look, you've seen what they do with luchadors, man. Like Escobar, great. Every other luchador in WWE other than Dominic, it not so great.
What's Dominic doing?
Look, Dominic's still in the program with Baron Corbin. Ray had a super mediocre match with Baron this week, but it was all to advance Dominic. So he's clearly getting still a rub. He's in a big program on a big show.
Is Ray hurt?
I don't know if Ray's hurt or just nursing, but his knees looked good in the match. I just think him and Baron weren't really going hard. They didn't really have a reason to. The point of that match was to advance other storylines, so there was no reason for them to really go at it. And I think Ray is seasoned enough at this point that he's not giving you the 110% Ray at any point in time. That's not a big pay-per-view match that's there to further his career. Why would he?
Could you imagine you're anyone who's been wrestling for 20 years with WWE? 30, right?
Well, I mean,
or just whatever. Like even like you've been wrestling for them for a while, and you're
for
about
WWE
to have
almost 20.
Yeah, for the company, right? And you're going out a Raw or SmackDown, like you have one of the live shows for the longest time, and they're like, "We got a 5-minute match for you segment, including entrances with Baron Corbin. Give us all you got." And you're like,
maybe not so. I don't even think they ask. I think that the guys in the back are smart enough to not even you don't even ask Rey Mysterio that. You're like, "Look, we need you on TV this week. Would you mind coming out for like 4 or 5 minutes and running around with Baron?" And Ray's probably like, and then they're like, "We're gonna help put over Dominic with it." And he's like, all right.
Yeah. They're like, "Do you think the agent's like, so do you think you could do the West Coast pop, please?"
Yeah.
Like, I don't think my knees are feeling it for a 5-minute segment. I'll do a 619.
His knees actually looked pretty good in the match, though. I thought he was running the ropes pretty good and moving around. And just the spots themselves were kind of slow and predictable. There was nothing major to it.
I was just trying to think of how he would big league them. That's all. Jokes are
besides favorite X-Men is Cyclops. That's all you need to know.
We have 45 minutes of material on Cyclops. Do we have time before
so on the Wall of Fame, Rush may not be going to WWE, but who probably is? And I'm going to put this person on the Wall of Fame just because of someone else that we have on the Wall of Shame. I want to put Taya Valkyrie on the Wall of Fame. Because guess what she didn't do? She did not phone it in. She showed up to work at Impact every day, even after her hubby was over in WWE. Everyone else had left. The roster had been decimated. She showed up every day and put in hard work. She put over their up-and-comers. She went and did all of the stuff that she needed to do to finish out her Impact contract. And now Taya is walking away from it. All friends, didn't make anyone mad. Did jobs, did hard work, was a champ for a while, held that promotion on her back when she needed to, took a step back when she needed to. Kudos to Taya Valkyrie for every single minute that she put in over at Impact Wrestling. Don't know if she's going to WWE or what, but, this is what Tessa did not do. Tessa Blanchard phoned it in, didn't show. And honestly, Tessa's going to be on the Wall of Shame until she actually shows up for work. She got to show up for work.
But I also think, especially with Impact and at different companies or different people running them, who knows? Someone could have gotten a bad deal. Like we were all on Cross's side when he had the bad deal and he wasn't showing up for work.
Because with Impact?
With Impact.
I wasn't necessarily on Cross's side. I was withholding judgment to a certain extent because I didn't know all the ins and outs of it. And a lot of people think that he made a mistake doing that. And he probably did burn a couple of bridges. I don't know if he burned a ton of them, but, I don't know if Callis is going to be looking to help him out. Who knows?
Yeah, they're cheap as fuck.
But it's also, that's a tough situation that we also got into with Lucha Underground because they hire all their talent part-time and you don't even get paid that much, or you get paid, overall for your investment. For as a fan, what you see them on TV, you think they should make a living. You don't make a living off of working for Impact unless you're a few names.
Right.
So I wouldn't completely put it against Tessa without hearing her side of things. Maybe it just wasn't worth her time. Now she should have said the title back.
But come on, dude, you're the champ.
She was the champ.
You're the champ. And they're putting faith in you and letting you be the champ as your contract is running out. Like it really does not sound like Impact was doing her dirty. Like she wanted certain things, and I get that, but you still show up. You still lay down the belt. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like
it was literally phoning it in. It was literally a video message.
Oh, yeah, it was phoned in.
That's what Casey did. That's what Casey did.
Casey might get heat too. I don't know.
No, Casey phoned it in. Casey's showing her up. Do you think that's on purpose?
Look, I will say since then, Tessa was taking a lot of flack for other stuff at the time about this and that and her attitude about this, that, and the other thing. But I have talked to a lot of people that vouch for her as, at least a decent individual. So I'm not holding any of that stuff against her. Whatever. All she's got to do to get herself off the wall of shame at this point is show up for work. If she can prove that she can show up for work when she's supposed to and do what she's supposed to, I'll take her off the wall of shame. I won't hold any grudges about any of the other things she may or may not have said or this, that, or the other thing and attitudes. And I love Daga. Daga's the man. Daga's dope as hell. And it's always been super cool to me too. So I got mad love for Daga.
I have a friend who's worked on shows that she wrestled on, and he has said nothing but glowing things about her.
Yeah.
So, and he's personally interacted with her.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I know several of those. I know several of those as well. So look, we're giving her the benefit about, but for now, Tessa's on the wall of shame. Taya is on the wall of fame. We'll just leave it at that. Hey, let's take a quick little break. Let's throw it over to our good friend Denise Salcedo over in Lucha Central to find out everything that's going on in the Lucha Central Podcast Network. And when we come back after the break, I think maybe we'll throw in Casey right there. What do you think?
Nah.
Only one way to find out.
Stick around.
Hey everyone, it's Denise Salcedo here in Lucha Central with a reminder of where and when to catch all of the great network content this week. Get the full lineup and listen to all of our shows in the podcast network section of luchacentral.com. Sundays on the Lucha Central Facebook page, world-traveled shooter of the camera kind, Jerry Villagrana goes mano a mano with a fellow photographer to throw down about some of their favorite photos they have taken at Lucha Libre events. Monday, Business of the Business returns as Mass Republic President Kevin Kleinrock takes you inside how your favorite Lucha Libre merchandise gets made. On Tuesdays, Mass Mats and Mayhem takes you inside the world of Lucha Underground as they take you weekly through the series with the benefit of hindsight and the benefit of special guests from the groundbreaking series. Check out the premiere video stream every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern on the Lucha Central YouTube channel and at luchacentral.com. Then listen to it on your favorite podcast platform every Wednesday. Tuesday nights live, it's Wrestle Boss, where Fabi Chulo talks MMA and pro wrestling with special guests and listener call-ins. Visit WrestleBossLive.com Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific to listen live or call in with questions or download the show on podcast platforms on Wednesdays. Wednesday nights live on Facebook, it's Spanish show La Mesa de los Márgaros, giving you both the news and the chisme from around the lucha world. Special guests and a whole lot of fun make it one of the most talked about shows in Mexico. Thursdays, it's Straight Out of the Bodega with Papo Esco and PWR promoter Gabriel Ramirez, as they have guests from throughout the wrestling world pull up to give an inside look into their careers. From indie standouts to television superstars, each week brings a new name and perspective. On Friday, it's your double dose of Lucha Central Weekly podcast, one in English y el otro en español. Lucha Central Weekly is where you'll find all the top stories of the week, both inside and out of the ring from Mexico and anywhere luchadores are in action across the globe. Be sure to subscribe and follow all your favorite Lucha Central Network series on your favorite podcast platforms, either by their own series name or subscribe to the Lucha Central Podcast Network show pages to get all of the shows in one easy feed. And please consider giving a rating to help more fans find the shows that you love. For now, this is Denise Salcedo signing off from Lucha Central Central. Have a great week.
I got two things to talk to you about. One is, if you haven't seen the movie Psycho Goreman yet, I need you to go see that immediately. It's on demand right now. It'll cost you like $7. It'll be the best $7 you ever spent. You can thank me later. Also wanted to show you what I got in the new Pro Wrestling crate for this month. So very quickly, I'm going to show you what we have. Okay. First things first, we have a t-shirt. Okay. And this t-shirt is one of the best ones that they've done. It is a Kenny Omega Man shirt where he's all the characters. He's Bullet Man, he's Clean Man, he's 7-Star Man, Golden Man, Fighter Man, Omega Man himself. You got Milkman, you got Machine Man, and you have one Wingman. So, Kenny Omega shirt, sweet. It's almost like they knew what was going to happen before they put out this box, because shirt number 2 is the Good Brothers, Good Brother. Look at that. Nice design. You got the Good Brothers, Carl Anderson, and Big LG, Doc Gallows. Look at that. Good stuff all around. Too sweet. I don't think we're allowed to call it that, but okay. So, something that's very exciting. Brawler Balls, Rowdy Piper. So it is a Mad Ball themed to They Live, but it's Rowdy Piper with the sunglasses falling off of his face, and it says Hot Rod on there. That is goddamn amazing. It's a lot smaller than a real Mad Ball. A little squishy, kind of the same consistency. Looks like they're trying to find a new collectible format to go with the micro brawlers. I'm all for it. That's pretty sweet. Speaking of micro brawlers, though, you also get a micro brawler sticker. So if you want to put this on some kind of display you're making, a lot of people are making some out of nail polish stands because the figures fit pretty good in those. So that's a tip. Want to show you the one that we get, though, this month. It's Heel Jake with the Cobra in his hand, getting ready to sick it on Macho Man Randy Savage. Trust me. And what's different is also that they're carded now. It's not in a little baggie anymore. They've gone out of their way. It's got a little card on the back that you can cut out. It looks like the cards on the back of Transformers. Pretty sweet. This is some dope shit right here. All right. This is actually, look at the back. It's 2 pins. And it's RVD giving a Van Daminator to a fool that looks like Stone Cold, kind of. No knee braces, though. But yeah, dude, look at that. That's pretty sweet. Mr. Monday Night. Love Rob Van Dam. All right. Speaking of people that are dear to the hearts of all of us as a podcast, Sting is in the... No, Sting's not in this box. Fuck you, Justin. We have a Thunder Rosa comic book, friend of the show. And this is a whole headlocked comic feature-length comic all about Thunder Rosa. How sweet is that? Look at that. Come on, you guys. Friend of the show, Thunder Rosa. She's out there killing it. And now there's a comic book, Tales from the Road, starring Thunder Rosa. Now, there's one last thing. Okay. I knew what this was ahead of time. I heard a rumor. I'm going to give you a little... Oh, look at that. That's an interpretation of the theme song of the guy. That is this month's autograph, which is just amazing. It's IRS, and look at how intricate that IRS signature is, okay? Motherfucker, this is going on the wall. I got a frame waiting for Erwin R. Scheister here, because not only is he a childhood icon of mine, clearly has one of the best signatures in professional wrestling. That is too amazing to not put on the wall. Plus, I just buy like 1,000 frames at the dollar store, so I've got one waiting for him. Anyway, you guys, that is it for the Pro Wrestling Crate. Hopefully, I'll see you on the show next time. Justin sucks. Sting rules. Penis.
Thanks, Casey. That was really great stuff. I honestly have no idea what just happened because I didn't watch the video. And Byron does this chop, edity thing and then just slides Casey in there. And so now Casey's magically in the show. And I have no clue what just happened. But I'm going to assume it was good because it was Casey. And Casey wants you to vote for us at luchacentral.com/2020 awards/ and make it happen. Vote for us, or Casey will probably say bad things about you. He might do that.
Also,
he will definitely say bad things about you.
There's a good chance that Casey didn't actually send in a video, and I just deep faked him with some random thing I downloaded off of YouTube.
That's fine.
But I guess that's not really a good tease after you watch the video.
It's Casey giving his undying love for Sexy Star.
Oh God, that's not gonna happen,
guys. You'll never believe what Casey sent into the show. You know, stick around and watch it 5 minutes ago. I want to talk AEW. You got Sammy G and his promo over there. You also had some Lucha Bros on Dark and some decent stuff from Diamante and Ivelisse. They are good now. I'm just going to throw that out there. I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to say too much. I feel bad for them because now that they are good, I feel like the women's division has kind of gone in a different direction and there's like nobody left for them to even wrestle. So I don't know what you do with Evie and Diamante now that they are awesome. Like they're so much fun to watch. Love their matches on Dark, but I don't know what else you do with them. You got to stable them. You know, stables are the way that you keep people active on screen and engaged with the audience without wrestling every single
or
week.
You put them in a tag division and actually have a division around them but AEW the women's division is all over the place and they really got to figure out how to rein it in. Like I like a lot of these performers, but they got to figure out a way to deal with them in a sense that makes well, I'm sorry, I was just trying to figure out what women are on my TV right now. Anyway, who knows?
I mean, they got to get their Joshi talent back. I mean, I don't know if they can, but they got it. That's the main appeal, and they've filled in the gaps. But that was their main appeal.
And look, they're getting as much indie talent from Mission Pro that Mel's trying to send over to them, and they're trying to get who's out there and who's available. Maybe they can pick up Taya. I don't know. I mean, I know her man's over in WWE, but at the same time, she does have a lot of friends over at AEW. The place she didn't really have a ton of her personal friends anymore was Impact. Most of them have gone or left, though. I guess Ryder's over there now. Cardona,
Cardona,
right?
Cardona.
Anyway, I don't know. I don't know what you do with the female tag division over there, but
they don't have enough. They don't have enough. They did a tournament and they had to bring in people like Cameron who aren't really active wrestlers. And she came in, cut a promo and worked a match, did a great job for what she did, the job she was hired to do. But they had to hire people like that for their tag tournament. So how are they going to have a tag division? You know,
I have no idea, no clue, but it is what it is, man. And here's the thing about Dark too. Dark is a hard show to avoid now. Yeah. It's not a great show. The crowd is dead. I said it's not a great show. You don't know about that? You think it's a great show?
I think it's hilarious. I love AEW Dark.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think it's a hard show to avoid now. I think it's becoming one of the shows you have to watch. I think it's more a show that you have to watch than Impact is almost.
Oh, for
Impact's got some great wrestlers. Some of my favorite wrestlers are over at Impact, but the funny thing about Impact is a lot of times it lacks exactly that impact.
They just did a storyline where somebody got murdered, and I can't ever.
We're a Lucha Underground podcast. We can't throw that stone in our glass.
No. Lucha Underground was a TV show. That's totally different.
Look, the Impact pay-per-view was good.
Hold on. Someone brought this point up. Taya closed out her tenure on 2 wrestling shows with a murder.
Yep.
True. There were some things that I liked on that pay-per-view, though. I liked the barbed wire match. I thought that was fun. I had fun with the Kenny Omega thing, even though there were some weird stares at Moose from some of the stuff he did. Moose actually had some impressive moments.
Yeah.
as well, but you know, it was whatever. But you know, Impact has its moment. I love Chris Bay. I love Willie Mack. Though Willie Mack was not on that pay-per-view card. Cardona should have an effect. It might be a very good place for him. And I think if he's wrestling guys like Chris Sabin and those kind of guys, I think that that's a great fit for him and for all those guys to kind of elevate each other. Yeah. I do wish, and I don't know if it's headed this direction or not, but if you merged Impact and AEW and had a legit 2-show week, plus maybe a shorter version of Dark, I think you'd have something great. That could be a good thing. I don't know that they'll ever do that, but or if they have some kind of talent exchange or something like they're doing right now. Doing. Yeah,
Private Party.
Yeah,
Private Party was great. I love the heel turn. I love that they're still getting ripped off by the icon, Big Money Matt. There is a thing now. I had a Twitter exchange with our friend Super B on the Twitter, but a negative Twitter exchange. Was this a bad thing? It was a good one, but like we both had shared a bit of a thing about this because like I am the last one to compare Street Profits and Private Party. And I'm
the first one,
right? And I'm like, I'll stick up like they're separate.
This is happening though.
One is a tag team, and the other one is Montez Ford, and the other guy, you know, all this stuff. But here's something that Super B pointed out, and I was like, that's just like the other one. So Montez Ford, incredible, and I saw him on the NXT House Loops before he made TV, and he was doing all this stuff, but he was super tall and super lanky, and he was doing a little bit of high flyer stuff that was kind of sloppy, but you just didn't think that he didn't have any effective offense. And by the time he was working on TV for a while, he started getting bigger arms, started, you know, bulking up, you know.
You got to fill out when you're the tall guy. It right. helps.
Yeah, and it really helped. And I think he's a huge star. I'm a huge fan of his since the first time I saw him on an NXT house loop when they were nobodies. They were working and creating the characters still. But here's something that you sort of notice, because if you're a wrestling fan for a long time, you sort of learn about chemicals and enhancements. And as strong as he got and as lean as he got puffy in a certain area.
Did he get a spotty back?
He got probably, but he got puffy nipples. You know what I mean? And he's not half Samoan. So and then Private Party,
highly suspect.
Right. So, but whatever, good for him. Okay, whatever. But I think if you're working for a big company, you have a doctor. You should do it like
good for him.
You should do it like probably Kenny and the guys in Japan do it, like with the doctor who gets everything regulated.
And look, to be fair, there are completely legal and much safer versions of this stuff. We're not talking about weightlifting in Russia in 1981. The stuff that they have out there these days is not quite the same stuff. And more the issue, especially in real sports, is one guy having an advantage over another guy from chemically altering himself. But there's stuff like, look, I can go out and get a prescription for TRT tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I can't go be a UFC fighter and use it.
Right. So this past week, Private Party had a big match.
Yeah, I definitely want to talk about that with Big Money Matt versus.
So we can get into that, but I just want to say,
because he likes looking fondly upon the past, but negative.
So, but there was just one moment after the match when one of the guys, because they're both bulking up, and good for them, they look like children out there, and now they're beginning to look like men, and it's great. And I don't mean any of that negative. I love Private Party, and I'm super stoked. Private Party and Top Flight are representing the Northeast wrestling scene. Awesome. But they're bulking up, and after the match, they get the hand raised, and you have this big fucking jacked arm, and you know you got the lats, and then you got a little bit of saggy titty. Just right there. You're like, come on, man.
Bother Byron always entertain me. It's just thoroughly entertaining, Byron.
Fucking learn how to cycle right. It's your goddamn job.
This is the best hot take of this whole show right now. I guarantee it.
What their legs like.
Learn how to cycle right so you don't have flabby peckies. Okay. Yeah, I mean, let's Big Money Matt and Private Party versus Top Flight and Matt Sydal. I think it was the best match on Dynamite. I think it stole the show.
Yeah.
the chair used to help the win, and not what I like about this is I'm tired of heel turns. This is making this team heels. This is not a heel turn. Right. And that was a heel moment and could be construed that way, but it's not. They're building it. And Matt is probably running this storyline, which is great. And it totally works. And I'm glad that they put Top Flight in there, because my biggest concern when they started doing this story was, oh, crap, Top Flight's going to get overlooked. But Private Party needs foils out there. They need good teams. And I'm glad that they got Top Flight on TV this week to prove it. And somehow also, Seidel was in there running the whole match.
Dude, Seidel has been nothing. He almost died. That happened. But since then, he's been nothing but impressive.
Yeah, he really
in
has.
AEW.
I don't want to like him. I don't really want to care about him because he doesn't really mean much to me. But it's undeniable. The last 3 or 4 times he's been in the ring on AEW, he has been a showstopper. He's protected people. He's made sure that spots weren't blown. He's had great ring generalship, and his spots have been flawless. The guy has looked money for, a couple of months straight now. Yeah. And in this match where you've got, an all-time great in there with 2 of these semi-sloppy, up-and-coming high flyer teams, he was reining the whole thing in and making the whole thing work. It was good stuff.
I would say about the match, though, I think I tweeted with Rob Viper about this. He has great post-AEW takes, by the way, so that's where I form a lot of my opinions for the show.
Yeah, we know.
But
Rob Viper is seldom wrong in his takes about AEW. I have to admit.
Yeah.
And I did feel like it was a bit sloppy. I do feel they miss spots, or even as individuals they miss it. But also, you got but you switch your brain into the mode of what's being presented, and it's awesome. It's still fun, and also these kids add their ages together, and it's still not the age of someone that you would see in the main event in WWE.
And this is what they're supposed to be doing right now. And but the Young Bucks had their time to do this kind of stuff in Ring of Honor and early on in PWG and other places. And this is what these guys need. And they're not out on the indie circuit on the weekends right now because of COVID. So they can't get in any extra time or any extra work. They have to get in there and do this. And look, they were on a major TV show doing it this week, and it was good. It was great. It was entertaining. Most entertaining thing on the show.
Made me more excited for the rematch down the road too.
Yeah, let me talk about a couple other things from AEW. It's amazing how much time Luther and Serpentico have been getting, but I kind of like it. Serpentico's good, by the way. Luther is Luther.
I love Luther.
Luther is Luther, but he knows what he's doing. He came out there. He let -1 get his promos off the right way. He knew how to play into the segment. John Silver and Luther totally made that whole bit work. For -1's birthday, and it was a complete shenanigans match. It worked just fine. And
Deathmatch King Luther is coming out to heal a child on his birthday.
Oh yeah, want to ruin your birthday. Come on, that was awesome. He did it flawlessly too. He did it in a way that wasn't offensive to a little kid, but at the same time, perfect heel heat. Luther is a veteran for a reason. There's a reason why he's there. A lot of people are like, why is Luther there? He's so sloppy and old and this, that, and the other. No, this is why he's there.
He's getting Serpy over so much. And I just died listening to Taz going, what is he doing? Every time he picks Serpentico up and suplexes him onto the opponent.
It was great. I mean, and so you have this huge match with TH2 and Chaos Project and all the Dark Order. And you know how I feel about these 8-man matches, but this one was actually done right. I think this one was not bad at all, and it was fun, and it was just a good gimmicky way to start off the whole thing. Plus the kid getting in kendo shots, I just can't hate on that.
That cake shot,
yeah. And then, well, God, Luther saved that spot. By the way, that table spot was totally wrong, and then Luther just rubbed the cake all over his own face. It was like he was trying to blade with the cake. It was amazing.
Yeah. It's funny on the hard cam, you'll see in the background that he just stuff's going on. But if you notice, he's just there, caking up and just posing for any kind of close up that should happen on him. Because
digging the cake into his eye.
That's
great.
All they need of him for the rest of the segment. That one close up where he has cake on his face. And
that's it. Sad. And he did it. I mean, that'll be in the highlight reel next week. And of course, the segment pays off with Hangman not joining Dark Order. And again, this is the smart way to do things. It feels like the show's actually being written to a certain extent of like, yeah, we're going to do this gimmicky, silly, big, dumb match. But at the end of it, we're going to give it relevance by pushing forward the Hangman Page story. I don't know if you care about the story or not, but what I'm saying is it's good writing to have a beginning, middle, and end. And they had a beginning to the story. They had a bunch of middle stuff, and this is an end to it. And now they can take the story to a new place with a new beginning, middle, and end of what, Hangman Page does after turning down the Dark Order. That's the start of a new story. That was an actual ending. As much as it carries on, it's an ending in like a Flash Gordon movie sense. It's a serial. You're going to come back for some more, but that was the ending to that story, and it was well done. Especially with them coming out with the celebration and in the middle of it, Hangman's like, and Silver's like, wait, that's not how this is supposed to go. And he's just like, dude, I'm so sorry. Like, I love the way they played that off. He didn't heal him out.
Yeah. You guys don't like Paige.
No.
Right? Or
Look,
like Casey doesn't like Paige, but to
I
me,
don't
I feel
like Paige getting used the way that they were trying to use him. He's not the guy that should be in a Kenny Omega program. He's the guy that should be in this program. These are the guys that he should be wrestling with.
Yeah.
He should be wrestling Jack Evans. He should be wrestling John Silver. He should be wrestling these guys. This is where he should be, and he looks like a superstar. He looked like a superstar in this match.
Yeah. I mean, I think, definitely. I think in time he should go back. I think he should at least he should be considered for that type of Kenny Omega run in AEW. But they got to build him up, and he's got to work on it, and he's also got to get a better present. He's got to get a main event presentation.
But as a character, too, these are his contemporaries. These guys are his friends. These are the people that he should be working with that will give him the experience so that he can do a program in August with Miro and look good. Yeah. With these more veteran guys and look good. But right now, he's not going to look good with those guys yet. Those guys have a different style and a different thing.
Yeah, one of my main critiques about him, and I think he even didn't like this too, is his nickname was the Hangman, and he was a cowboy, and there's overtones of blah, blah, blah. And also it's just like you bring a rope and you're going to hang someone. So it's not 1975 anymore. That's not going to get over. Also, is that your whole personality? And they
look, man, there might be 70 million people that would vote for that to get over.
But I mean, it's kind of flat, Like how many times has someone tried to do the Southern Cowboy, the Barry Windham gimmick?
Yeah, I was calling him Diamond Dallas Storm, the Hangman Cowboy, or
Justin
whatever.
Rhodes. Justin Rhodes can't even do the natural gimmick anymore.
Maybe get rid of the cow rope and just use a cowbell. But cowbell and play it.
Yeah, but I think what they've done, especially with the breakup with the Elite and Kenny and the tag team, they've added so much nuance to him. And he's the millennial cowboy. He's the angsty millennial cowboy. And like, I just loved like the sort of breakup thing. It's just like, I would have loved it if we could have just kind of sort of stayed in this sort of in between zone, hanging out with the Dark Order and tagging or whatever, but you pushed it. And I can't commit. And there's something going on, but they're not spelling it out. And I just feel there's so much nuance to him. And I feel they're really loading the cannon for when.
Look, they made him matter this week, which is more than I can say for the next 3 things that happened on this show.
What were those things?
Stink and Darby did their little thing.
I love
that. Cody versus Peter Avalon with a Jade distraction, and Mox versus Captain Caveman, Nick Comoroto, who's not a bad wrestler, but at the same time, these were 3 segments that did not matter in the grand scheme of things. They didn't really advance story that much to me. Even the Stink and Darby thing didn't advance.
No, they set up it set up a match.
Yay!
It set up a match.
That match has been set up for 3 weeks. Come on.
It's been a super.
Things been beating these guys up with baseball bats. Of course, there has to be a match.
I see the critique that the whole Sting thing has been super slow and it's or repetitive, but I also feel
it's super stupid too. Come on, he comes out, he thanks the youngster, and then Taz busts in, and Taz has to be the whole segment once again. Sting said one line, Darby said one line, and the rest was, glaring with face paint on and snow effect.
Yeah, but they're making that I love Sting, and I feel though that they are making the choice to really bank off of that brooding Crow Sting version, and they're working because Darby was doing that sort of thing too. And I
Because
feel
Darby is actually that kind of guy.
Yeah. No, but so
Steve on board, man, is not that kind of guy.
I also feel like it works better in a crowded arena with
Maybe.
Sting. So
look, he's on the 50 million year or whatever 3-year swing with them.
But
I'm sure there'll be moments for him to pop a crowd. But I can't imagine, even for Sting fans, this week after week of him just coming out and barely doing anything is doing much for you. I got it when it was in WCW and you saw him in the rafters, and that was all you got for the whole show. And it happened 3 weeks in a row. And then all of a sudden, he comes down from the ceiling with the baseball bat in the middle of an important moment and causes some havoc. But it also was geared at him versus an entire faction, and it was a credible faction, and it was the biggest faction in all of wrestling at the time. Now he's coming in with a baseball bat and kind of saying some things and waving it around at Taz and his crew.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think at the end of the day, you and I have different opinions on it. I think a lot of the fans have different opinions.
Look, in my opinion may change because I have vowed that if we actually win this poll at luchacentral.com/2020 awards, that as the best podcast from Lucha Central Podcast Network, that I will no longer on this show disparage Sting. That doesn't mean I'm going to say great stuff about him. I just won't say anything. I'll just say, and Sting was in the next segment, blah, 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 and I'll just move on. But for right now, I'm disparaging the hell out of it because I thought that this segment stunk. I thought this was a complete waste of time.
I think so. I mean, I love Sting, and I know you don't like him, but I think there are some similar things we could both say about how it's been super slow or repetitive and like what's really going on. But I think at the end of the day, especially with this match, there has to be a payoff. Darby has to look fucking awesome with it. Regardless, like at the
they better at least do that because they've already ruined Cage in this whole thing. And if they try to swing the pendulum back and get Cage's heat back, that's even bigger waste at this point. At this point, they need to just keep jobbing Cage out in this whole segment and then get him out of this thing and put him in a program where he matters. Because if they try to turn it back around now and do a 50-50 booking thing, that's just going to make it worse.
I don't know. That was a great match he had with Darby. It really
the match was fine.
But see, Cage kind of has the way they're positioning him. He has a bit of the Ricochet issue where anytime he opens his mouth on camera, he just doesn't.
He's got Taz though.
He doesn't do himself any favors, And so, and also he's next to Ricky Starks. Like
they just need to find the right spot for him and then let him get over. I mean, Impact did the same thing with him too, where they gave him a nice little push and then they just kind of, that's it. That's our Cage push.
But Cage,
everybody seems to do that, and he, somebody needs to actually just let him really get over for 4 months straight.
Yeah, he does have. He's a great talent. He's a great wrestler. He's super fucking jacked, but he can move like the wind.
I think it might be time for a rebrand for him. I know Lucha Underground had discussed it a few times. I know in Impact he had even discussed it himself. It might be time to rebrand the machine as something else.
Yeah. We've seen him at shows where he just has. He has a great personality that people get drawn to. It's good, but it's not the character he's doing.
Right. I was about to say, the thing he possibly suffers from is the fact that he is actually a nice guy.
Yeah,
it really is.
That's the thing. It's just
murdering people because physically you look at him and go, yeah, he's going to murder people, and then he kind of does in the ring. But as soon as you start peeling off part of that layer, you kind of
but see, he's he's a guy that walks around the ring on the outside, and you still don't feel like you do with Ricky Banderas, Mil Muertes, who was actually a really nice guy also. But anytime he's in character, anytime he's in a wrestling event, and that event has not transpired yet, you just back the hell off for that guy. And he carries himself that way, and he does it on purpose. And then as soon as the night is over, afterwards, if it's signing T-shirts or trying to sell some merch or just hanging out, or you see him 3 days after an event, nicest guy in the world. Mm-hmm. But before and during an event, stay back because he is in that place. And maybe Cage needs a little bit of that. I don't know. Anyway, I wasn't a big fan of that. Byron thought it was all right. Cody versus Peter Avalon. I like Peter Avalon, but this match didn't really offer anything. Cody is purposely just trying to keep a little face time, but at the same time, he knows he's getting over with that other show right now. So I think that Cody is more than happy to take a little bit of a back seat, but also they brought Shaq and Jaden for this thing, so he kind of has an obligation. So that's going to be Cody's thing right now. He's going to do this little celebrity shine moment for Shaq, and we'll see what we get out of it. And hopefully, what happens out of this entire thing is it propels Red Velvet a little bit. We'll see.
The big
Shaq needs a good rub. No one's ever heard of him. He needs to build up his repertoire.
Yeah, he does not need a rub.
I think Peter Avalon, though, I think he's great. But this whole angle of like Cody beating him in less than a minute and like him going, I don't think so, or whatever, like all that is just none of that is really registering. And I also think, as great as Peter Avalon is at working and doing a character and this and that, he looks 130 pounds soaking wet, and you're up against Cody, who's put on 19 pounds of muscle since at some point in time.
Avalon, he reminds me of this guy that wrestles in Japan sometimes.
No,
he just looks like a flabby piece of
crap. He doesn't.
Who's got a Z in his name? What's his name?
Neef.
Oh, it doesn't matter. He doesn't.
Neef, you're with me on this, right?
Sucks.
Zack Sabre. Oh, fuck you. You just ruined a really good moment that we had.
Justin, if you can ever find it, but I would never suggest you go and pay them money for it, because obviously they're a creepy company.
Daily Motion.
Is Zack Sabre Jr. versus Angelico, Fight Club Pro.
Okay, I'll watch it.
It was just holds galore, and it was magical.
I like stuff like that, which I'm going to talk about.
It was like watching two eagles struggling in the mud.
Justin's intimidated because he knows Zach will fold him up in an octopus hold.
Oh, Jesus Christ, no! That guy I would just shoot, murder him immediately. I can't help it.
He would PK. You know, by the way,
he would try. He'd be trying to tell me to move into one of his stupid things, and I would just snap a finger and break his neck.
He doesn't need you to do anything.
I would grab him by that flabby belly and slam him like Loki got slammed by Hulk in the Avengers movie. That's what would happen. I'm twice his size, Byron.
No, you're not. He's 6'7",
yeah,
480 pounds of muscle.
He weighs 9 stone.
Whatever.
Oh, he weighs stones. You can't compare.
I'm going to move on because Zack Sabre Jr. is
I do. He does remind me of a really great bit on AEW where someone did a PK, the penalty kick, but it was with Jim Ross on commentary. So Excalibur goes, with the PK. And Jim Ross is like, PK, what the? It's like, their initials for penalty kick. You saw him kick him. It wasn't just a goofy name for a kick.
There's no penalty kicks in American sports, though, Byron. How is JR supposed to know it? You're talking about good old penalty kick.
We also say one thing: the Pele kick is just ridiculous.
The Pele,
yeah, because it's an overhead kick,
right?
That's what it's called. It's not a Pele kick because Pele is a piece of shit.
Oh,
fuck Pele. Wow. I will fight Pele. And even his old age, the Viagra using piece of shit.
And you say I'm bad because I said something bad about Zack Sabre Jr. Jeez.
No, this motherfucker said bad stuff about Romario, and Romario is God.
We're talking about football now.
Yeah, no one will understand apart from maybe a handful of people listen to the show. That Romario is a true Brazilian.
The only thing that matters in football is somehow Tom Brady is going to the Super Bowl again in a different country. And that's exactly the right opinion to have.
I can't wait for it. I think it's so great.
Look, and I love so many other guys on that team, but just to see Tom Brady get another chance, it's just like, can we just see somebody else do it?
It's another chance of him losing, Justin. That's what you got to look at it like.
Whatever. At this point, I hope he wins and then just goes home. Anyway, Eddie Kingston cut a promo on Archer with Jake the Snake. Look, I like Eddie Kingston. It was good. Bunny looked super pissed. And by the way, make sure you head all over to demonbunny.com, get some merch. My buddy Tony Lacasio will thank you for doing so because he helps them out with their merch for Rosemary and Allie over there. But Allie had great facial expressions. She sold it.
She's great. Everyone in that faction is doing great stuff, and Eddie is just cutting great promos. And like Archer comes in and he's doing his Archer promo, and Eddie's like, "Oh, great with the biblical poetry."
I thought that segment was fun. That was where the show started coming back. Then, of course, it led into the match we already talked about with Big Money Matt and that whole troop. Penelope Ford, I gotta ask, man. I get why they did this match. It made perfect sense. It moved the storyline forward. You wanted to kind of build into the Charles Taylor Butler thing. But good gracious, legit Layla Hirsch versus Penelope Ford was really off. And putting this on the big show, I understand that all the other characters needed to play peripherally around this, but I also think if that's the case, Layla was not the right call. Who's the girl who's in Dark Order? Why am I forgetting her name? Yeah, that's who she should have been. Yeah, that's who she should have been wrestling.
They wanted the plucky. They wanted the plucky underdog babyface, and I think Penelope Ford has the character and the look, but she doesn't have the wrestling down so much.
Well, and she needs somebody. She needs somebody to carry her a little bit. Right. She doesn't need a lot. She doesn't need a lot at all. Like, what was Abaddon doing right now? Like, bring her in for it. Something. I don't know.
You don't want her to lose. They don't have enough talent.
Well, like 20 people on the outside cheating, it's fine. You could have literally put anybody in that match because they're going to get their heat back immediately.
Yeah, most of the match was just poorly timed. The ending, I think they.
And there's people that legit Layla Hirsch could be wrestling too, but it ain't Penelope Ford. This was a bad look because it distracted from the storyline that they were pushing. It was bad.
Yeah. At the end of the day, the match was just for the promo at the end. So like, don't try to do too much. And I guess, and they shouldn't have done this with a commercial break.
And also, the picture-in-picture thing, like when Penelope Ford was actually at her best in this whole match, and clearly she's the one that they're trying to put over a little bit here, it was all during the picture-in-picture. Like, who is making these decisions? It was a total waste. You let Layla Hirsch get out all of her offense and look terrible doing it first, go to commercial, play out all the best bits, and Penelope doing some cool spots, then come back and have it just be a bunch of schmozzy stuff with all the extra characters, with Penelope sloppily getting the whatever. I was over that one. Anyway, Good Brothers and Omega with Callis come out, work over Penta. Penta's still nursing some injuries, so this made sense storyline wise that they were going to work him over in the back to lead to this other thing. So we're going to get Mox, Pac, and Phoenix versus Good Brothers and Omega at Beach Bash.
I like that.
So it's not Death Triangle, it's Mox Triangle.
I think that's interesting.
Bash at the beach.
I think it's really interesting. And also you got to wonder how Mox is going to play with people because Pac is a son of a bitch bastard, so at some point he might, if Mox gets feeling a little too good, Pac might slap him in the face.
Yeah, you never know. Then you ended the show with the match that everyone was talking about. It was a good match. Sammy Guevara looks like a freaking $1,000,000 these days. I thought they used every character the right way. If Casey was here right now, he would be very upset about Santana and Ortiz not winning this and the way that they were treated. But I think this is actually good for them storyline wise, because if they won, then what happens? They just put them back in the tag division and it's nothing special. The fact that now they get to be disgruntled and you can break them off and have a reason, or you can have them feuding within it. I think it actually gives them more rub and more shine that they didn't win here. We have MJF and Jericho winning. I think that is absolutely the right storyline. Look, is it going to lead to you seeing a bunch of great wrestling? Probably not. But AEW has proven one thing. They can do great wrestling all day. What they can't do is great stories, and they need this to be a good story.
I thought it was one of the most fire matches on the show.
Yeah, it was great. I still think that the Private Party one is better. But
but they definitely went all out. I do think it was funny how at the end, like you're looking at the clock and it's like, for me, I'm watching East Coast, so it starts at 5 and I see it turn 7. I'm like, the hour's up, man. And then it's a super kick spot. And Aubrey's like trying to like tell someone they're going to turn the cameras off. And then she has to duck a super kick.
Aubrey's great, by the way. She has really learned her craft so much in the last year.
Well, here's all you really need to know about her. You don't need to know a thing about her pedigree or what she's ever done or how she's doing. You need to know that right away, Jericho, the top guy who has all the experience in the world and can get whatever he wants, first worked with her at the beginning and then only works matches with her.
Yeah, that is the sign, And I think also Rick Knox has passed along and got a lot of great stuff to her. I just hope that he passes along to her how to not break your arm every 3 weeks, because Rick has spent more time in a cast in the last 5 years than any other ref in the business. The dude, which is great because he takes bumps. Like Rick will take a bump, but he is a really, really flimsy human being, and the guy is made of, paper and gummy worms or something, because he bends all sorts of directions and then something breaks. It's really sad. Rick, don't get hurt anymore, brother. Let's take another quick break. I want to come back. We'll talk about some Lucha Underground, and I do want to talk about some WWE later on, and maybe a little bit of UFC. But let's come back and talk about some Lucha Underground right after this.
Lucha-masks.com, in partnership with Mask Republic, give you personal protective masks to keep you Lucha strong in the fight versus COVID-19. With world-class luchadors Blue Demon Jr., the Lucha Brothers, LA Park, Ultimo Dragon, Cain Velasquez, Conan, and so much more. Head to lucha-masks.com and you too can become a masked warrior. Lucha-masks.com, powered by Pro Wrestling Revolution.
I have a question for you guys. Do you guys wear underwear when you record this show?
I don't wear pants when I record this show.
I'm not wearing underwear. Yeah. Okay, cool. So we're on the same page.
I turn my camera off when I need to stand up. Let's just put it that way, Byron.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, explain it more.
Well,
there's this blue pill before recording.
There's these birds and these bees, and when a bird flies into a bee,
yeah,
and they do kind of, a scissory thing, then 9 months later, a stork comes by and drops off a package at your house.
Hold on a second. So, in order to teach kids about fucking, when they start getting boners, you tell them birds and bees are having sex.
Yeah.
I'm not a parent.
True.
There's so much I have to learn.
It all works out in the wash somehow eventually. I mean, look, the whole point is you're trying to forage a campaign of misinformation to children so that when they do it, they have no clue what they're doing. So hopefully they just do it wrong and you don't have anything to worry about.
Yeah.
Because they're going to try to do something anyway. So you really just want to completely confuse them.
You're like, here's how you're like
completely even more.
And the thinking is that if you confuse enough people like that, Byron, when they vote, they'll think one thing happened when something else completely different actually happened.
We're the most topical show of all time.
Wait, we're not on, are we? We're not.
I think we're back.
Okay, let's.
And
we're back. We've all had a fruit cup and a yogurt, and we did some things, and now we're back. Let's talk about Lucha Underground Season 1, Episode 35.
Oh, yeah.
This episode should be called Jesus, How Long Is This Season?
I know, right?
No, actually, this episode isn't bad pace-wise.
This is Justin's own personal segment because me and Byron have not watched this.
Oh, stop it.
Oh, I have watched it, and I have a lot to say about it.
Byron was there for this episode and got quite a bit of camera time along with the with J. Ray and Casey and that old crew. I think who was also at the last episode. But this was a little bit more fun, I think, for the crowd. The crowd was hot for the last episode, too. The crowd was hot for this one. And rightfully so, because I think this wasn't great in a lot of ways, but it was fun. Like, you wouldn't have been mad if you were there. It wasn't terrible to watch it on TV. There just wasn't a ton to write home about, But let's get into it. So the first vignette is another cinematic one. This is a Skip Chasen masterpiece here of Pentagon sitting there, and this is kind of our first look at the Maestro, who is walking around the rice paper walls and comes into the room. We don't know who this is, but it's a little weird when you know what the actual storyline ends up being because of how Pentagon talks to this person about how he wants to destroy Vampiro and how that, basically Vampiro's a little bitch. And, and then he says, then you must destroy the man he's become. Pentagon says he's not the man he once was, and the Maestro says, then you must destroy the man that he's become. And then Pentagon says, then Ian Hodgkinson will become my sacrifice. So I guess it's a little foreshadowing, but he's foreshadowing it to the guy that he's talking about.
I have a question.
That's a spoiler for anybody who hasn't seen
almost like this was filmed before someone said no.
I have a question, by the way.
Yeah, go ahead, Byron.
So Vampiro, who by the way is doing great with life and blah blah blah, and I'm still waiting on that almond milk recipe. But at this point, he had a pretty good distinct limp. You know?
Yeah, a little bit. It was noticeable.
If you're in a room with the dude and all the dude is doing is
6'3".
slowly walking, would you be like, oh, this guy kind of hobbles like the
Well,
guy
but I mean, they made the shadow lumber, and then he kind of comes in, on the side of the camera.
Yeah.
So you can't really tell, even though there is a little hiccup to it.
Not for us. I mean, for Penta. Also, at some point, he's gonna try to light Vampiro on fire.
Yeah.
And I just, that would be phenomenal. Then you have a segment where he's just wearing like a Febreze pine tree or something to try and get the burn smells off of him.
Here's one of the things about Lucha
Why all
Underground.
the candles blown out?
I wasn't at this one, but Byron, could you smell the gasoline at this one? Because I know at other times when they have done pouring of gasoline, the whole place smelled like gasoline. I don't know if it's gimmick or what.
Okay, Marty the Moth Martinez. I think he always used gasoline, even if he wasn't doing a gasoline spot. He just seems like a guy who would have it nearby.
He just has a can of gasoline nearby, even though he flew in and Ubered to the place. He's still got a can of gasoline.
He's like, I might want to light someone on fire.
Oh my god!
Don't want to rule it out.
Well, we'll get to the gas.
I don't think it smelled. No, but it doesn't matter. I was super stoked. I was like, super ready to see an actual murder at a wrestling show.
Well, and this was the thing at Lucha Underground at the time. Nobody knew if they were going to go that route. After the XPWs and ECWs of the world, there had been some pretty crazy things that had happened in wrestling, and that kind of stuff had been gone from the mainstream for a while. So nobody really knew at this time. So it was kind of interesting. But this segment, kudos to Skip Chasen because it just looks glorious. Every time that Penta is sitting in this dojo, pre-Fuck Dungeon dojo, this was just regular dojo action. I think it just looks great. It's a little bit of a homage to some of the Kurosawa films out there. I think that, by this point in time, Skip was going more Kurosawa with Penta and more Bruce Lee with Drago. I don't know. It looked great.
Yeah.
So yes, it is, Byron. But we'll get to that in a minute. So anyway, this was just the first vignette. This was just kicking off the show. We started off cold with some hot Pentagon stuff with the Maestro. The first match is the Mac, and from the 559, they call him Cage.
This is when we get the full Melissa.
This was the first full Melissa intro. She was smiling. She was blushing. I don't think anyone knew that there was anything going on, and I don't even know if anything was going on yet at this time. By the end of season 1, were they already a thing?
Yes.
Did we know?
First of all,
for those who don't know, Melissa and Cage weren't supposed to be a thing when they initially became a thing, but they were a thing.
No, people know because they got walked in on because they were banging at whatever. And it's a whole thing. And if you follow them both on Lucha Underground, it's fucking disgusting. But
they didn't try to keep it a secret after that, after they were outed.
But it is a sweet story. They're a good couple and they have a kid. And it is kind of sweet to go back and to see her, first being
well, they have a kid, but he has kids. Plural, right?
Well, I'm not trying to talk his business.
As we said, he's the nicest guy in the world, but he was not supposed to be doing what he did when he did a thing that he did.
Wasn't there something like even like because they also had him and Melissa had a couple in and outs as well as him and his ex-wife were like whatever. I'm not here to gossip. That's what Casey.
Oh come on! It's a show about Lucha Underground. All that's left is gossip, Byron. Who cares?
Well, as the most I can remember, we really got to get Casey on. So just tweet him for the specifics.
We'll make Casey talk about it at some point. But this was for sure the first time she did from the 559. They call him Cage.
Yeah.
But the more interesting thing about this is at this point in Lucha Underground, Cage had only lost one time, and it was a bit of a screw job, and he loses.
To who?
I mean, that's it.
Oh yeah, it sets up. Sorry.
Wait, was he fighting Chris Benoit? Or are we not mentioning the
No.
name?
So it was the Mac, and look, it was a good match. And Cage was so perfect at this point in time in history because he does spots like he does the drawn out suplex of Mac, and he holds him up forever, like forever.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And Mac is not huge, but he's big enough to not be holding up forever, and he's awkward to hold. You know, he's not like one giant solid muscle kind of guy. Cage holds him up forever, but then he does a ton of indie wrestler spots and leg slap kicks and all sorts of stuff. He was the perfect hybrid at this point in time in wrestling history to bridge the gap between what people were looking for from a monster WWE type guy and from an indie wrestler. And it's part of the reason why Cage got over so huge, and one of the reasons why I'm still disgusted that he hasn't gotten over more. He is the hybrid.
It is a
bummer. He probably needs to go to WWE.
Maybe, but I think WWE will strip him of the indie stuff that makes him different from those other guys.
And he's too short. And his gimmick is get my shit in, you know?
Right.
I was super excited when he got his run at Impact, but he hurt himself and he ended up, the contract expired while he was hurt and he didn't actually do anything with the title run. But that was a moment where you have that same feeling. This guy should be on top. He always comes in and he's all, because he just has that presence. He comes in as a legitimate fighter, but he jobs the champ like he did in AEW, like he did in Lucha Underground. When is he going to actually be put over himself? Because he's a great Hogan villain, you know?
Well, and here and in this match, he loses to Willie Mack. It's not 100% clean. Willie steals it with like a schoolboy Broken Arrow kind of combination hybrid pin, which was cool. And Willie deserved to get his heat here too, which is great. I liked Willie going over here, but at the same time, it is another one of these moments in the history of Cage where you're just like, oh, snap. They haven't done anything with the Mac at Lucha Underground at all. They had him job out in the locker room a couple times and get beat up and taken out of matches. They literally have done nothing with him. And all of a sudden, he's got, you know, a win over Cage, who had been positioned as like one of the top guys.
Like he looked like he should beat Puma when he first came in.
Right.
And Cage's own and Mac's own cousin was like, "You're a bitch. I don't want to be with. I don't want to be your cousin anymore."
So great for Willie Mack here. Not the greatest for Cage, but also great for everyone because these two guys in the ring together is not ever a bad thing. So that was fun. The next vignette, Katrina ghosts in on Son of Havoc with a message that soon the Disciples of Death will be after his gold because he's holding his belt. But tonight, Death himself is after you. And then Evie comes in with a big old back off bitch. Katrina ghosts out right as Evie's coming at her. And somehow it leaves Son of Havoc and Ivelisse lying on the floor on top of each other. And Helico walks in and says, "Oh, God, please don't tell me you guys are getting back together," in his weird South African Dutch accent. And they both just shut up.
I do feel like that would be super annoying if they got back together and you had to hang out with them.
Well, but I mean, look, the segment was kind of well done and funny, and it ended with, you know, cleavage in beard. So, you know, hey, look, better than the creepy stuff they did with Angelico and Evie early on. Yeah. This is a big improvement. Like, if you're going to sexualize Lucha Underground at all, way better to do it this way than the other way. This is much better.
I also love the Evie Katrina angle storyline between the two of them.
And it's building right here.
I love it. But it's just funny to me because I mean, it's not funny.
Is it funny because they tried it 3 times and they could never get it to happen?
Because they tried it so many times and it got dropped because of like injury and stuff. And at some point they're just like, fuck it. At like segment 1, taping 1. If Ivelisse comes out or Katrina comes out, one of them, I forget. And it's like, I'm gonna fight you at Ultima Lucha this season.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And we're like, oh, they're doing it. First segment, first episode, whatever. Like they just did it right off the bat. Like we're done. Like,
and then didn't touch it the entire season.
No.
was that season 2? Season 3?
That was 3 or 4. I have
3. I think, yeah.
I think it was 3 because there was 2 ankle breaks.
Yeah, it was hilarious, and it is what it is. But anyway, so we come back from the break and we get this Vampiro interview with Pentagon, which is great. You know, at first I thought this was going to be another one of those Puma interviews where Vampiro does all of the talking. And at first Vamp is like, look, my time is come and gone. You know, I'm sorry I got into your business, Pentagon. I shouldn't have done that. I know how it is, you know. And then the best line, okay, then Penta actually starts cutting back his promo. And Penta can actually cut fire promos, by the way. They just have to be in Spanish. But this was a good promo. And, you know, Penta's saying, like, we're both alike. We both like pain and aggression. But are you Vampiro that we all know, or are you just a coward? And then Vampiro's like, no, it's just me and my daughter now, man. And, like, I got 32 world championships. He says that, by the way. I have followed a lot of Vampiro's career, and I can't say that I specifically know of all 32. I remember like 2, but the other 30 I'm a little foggy on Vamp World Championships. I'll have to go and look that up. But he says he had 32 World Championships, and he's not a coward. Penta, of course, tells him he's weak and pathetic, and he is Pentagon Jr., and he has zero fear, because that's how he ends promos.
It's such a basic statement off of a t-shirt we all wore 20 years ago, and when he says it, it's the coolest shit.
He just said, I mean, and he doesn't, like, he says it in broken Spanish to boot, because the way he actually, the actual translation is, I Pentagon Jr., zero fear.
Yeah.
But
And
that
everyone
translates
loved
to, I
it.
am Pentagon Jr., and I have zero fear. But
Yo soy Pentagon Jr. y cero miedo. Yeah.
yeah,
I get it.
yeah, that's it. I zero fears, and what he says half the time. Anyway,
But now his name is also the same sort of thing. He's Penta the Zero Fear.
yeah, Penta zero fear. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It's
Fear.
And he's probably laughing at all of us because he's just like, it's barely even Spanish. This is hilarious. I can't believe I got this gimmick over. But Penta can cut fire promos.
Mhm.
Anyway, next match is the aforementioned Mil Muertes versus Son of Havoc. Here, let me read my notes specifically. My note says, Son of Havoc looks appropriately ineffective against Mil right off the bat and throughout the duration of this match. Banderas, Ricky Macias, Banderas, Mil Muertes guy. Choke, I wrote all of that down. Choke throws him right out of the ring for his efforts. And then we finally get to the cool stuff where we get the very first real bowling alley spot where Mil Muertes, and unannounced to pretty much everyone, one of the reasons why we have always said stay the hell out of his way. Ricky loses his shit in there sometimes. He just bowling alleys Son of Havoc right through all of the chairs, and at the time the chairs were tied together behind Vampiro at the commentary desk. Vamp does not look pleased about this. And if you know anything about your Lucha Libre history, Vampiro and El Macias have had their wars and matches, and he goes back and forth on how he feels about Ricky all the time. He did not look pleased with him in this moment at all. Vamp was not trying to do commentary anymore. Left striker completely on his own. Havoc is sitting there tangled up in chairs like, what just happened? I don't know if it was a shoot or a work or what's going on. And Mil is smiling his ass off. And so sadistic, because I think he was just like, oh, whoops, my bad, dude. I don't think it was planned to go down like that at all. Plus, he threw him over the first row of chairs. So there's still chairs in the way. Yeah. Son of Havoc doesn't know how to get out of there. Vampiro's just staring at the whole thing. The whole thing is Trina's trying to figure out when she's supposed to do her spot. Everything is and that's when I was like, okay, this match is actually really fun.
I gotta give a shout out in the middle of all this, talking about how cool he is. Tune into MLW to see Mil Muertes. He's so badass, and he's looking badass on that show, and he's back. If you miss him from the show, he's there, and he's in full Lucha Underground gimmick with Selena De La Renta.
Yeah, and he's got Selena as his new Katrina, and she's good at it.
So fucking check it out. He's probably going to start murdering their talent now.
I hope so. If not, they have made a mistake. And maybe, who knows, maybe Roosh will show up there. Maybe, Roosh could show up at MLW, and that would be super fun if you got some Mil Muertes Roosh stuff there. Though I I honestly, I don't dislike MLW, but I feel like when I see guys like Mil Muertes, they're like, man, it's beneath him. I would love to see him someplace else, but also there's not room for him on a card like AEW or some of these other places. Like maybe Impact, but there's not a lot of room for him in what he does in these places. But what he does is great and hasn't lost a step. The guy's awesome. Yeah. So storyline wise, Katrina tries to push up on Angelico, which is kind of a funny moment because that, and the crowd popped for that. And then of course Evie gets in the way of that. And you think that Evie's about to take it to Katrina, but the disciples of death pop up behind Angelico and take him out. And then all of a sudden, Katrina's like just rape choking Evie. It's just mean. Like it's inappropriate what she does to her. Well, that's why I said it that way, because it was totally inappropriate. Did you see what I mean? She just pushed her on the ground and put the hand and it was mean. Can't do my girl Evie like that.
I'm going to refrain from talking about the rest of the segment.
But it shows that Katrina, don't forget, people forget, and people forgot all the time in Lucha Underground. They started to see Katrina as just a valet. Don't forget, as Maxine, she did wrestle. She has had some great matches. She can handle herself. She's in great shape. I don't mean that in the Byron kind of way. I mean, like, the girl is actually strong and can get around and doesn't even gas that fast. Like, she's not like a ring technician by any stretch of the imagination, because she just simply didn't have enough time in the ring. And I don't think she cared one way or the other. But she can handle herself just fine. And you could kind of see it in that moment. And it was like, oh snap, I actually do want to see Katrina versus Ivelisse. At first it seemed like a complete mismatch, but also Evie was in the cast at this point in time. So it was just kind of funny. And, then Mil in the ring with all this commotion going on, Freight trains the hell out of Son of Havoc, Flatliner, and at least he gets a lick of death on the beard. Like, she got all beard. And it was funny, too, because Katrina's, like, holding his face, trying to find a spot on this dude where she can even credibly give him a lick of death, and she just is like, whatever, and just right up the beard and across the mask, and it was just all... She had to have been doing this for like 3 hours, peeling stuff out of her mouth. It was terrible.
I have a question. Everyone has a spear, as a finish. Would you call Mil Muertes' spear a spear?
I call it a freight train. It's a freight train. I mean, first of all, it is a shoot. It is not worked at all. He does not wait for you to position yourself. He does not wait for you to throw yourself back into it. He leaves his feet. He leaves his feet early, and he goes fast, and he goes through you. I mean, and you can tell that it's legit because of the fact that Son of Havoc in this one doesn't even go straight back. When Mil hits him, he hits him so hard and just goes through him that it pushes him off to the side because he doesn't hit him in the middle. He's trying not to kill him. And if he hit him in the middle, he would have been dead. He would have just died. It's not a pounce. It's not a spear. This is a freight train. He goes, comes right through you. He collides with you, and you go flying off to the side. And it was amazing.
Because let's be honest, the old spears are shit.
Except this one. No, so we can't even call it a spear because it's not.
Why the fuck is Edge, a 6'5", 175-pound wrestler, doing a goddamn spear? He looks like he hurts his shoulder.
He does. Because he has hurt his shoulder doing it.
Like, oh, your abs are too hard on my frail body. I ran into it too hard.
He hurt himself when he was tagging with Edge and Gangrel back in the day doing it. I mean, it was that bad. He should.
Who has it?
Almost like where he was, you see some people, they do it, they run into people and then they pick them up and put them into a corner. Yeah. That's how he always looked like he was doing it. It's hilarious because he literally run into the middle and then they'd fall over. It's like, oh my God, piss off.
Well,
he did get better at the dart of it, but
look, you take too many of these real ones from Mil Muertes, and that's not a good thing either. Because them junks will break your ribs, and you'll have all kind of people on your roster sitting out like. I don't know if you want to allow that either. I don't know.
That is a good point.
Rugby tackle, you basically have to be built like me.
Yeah.
Shoulders. You have to have meat.
Meat, period. Let's see, what happened next? Oh, Tejano cut a promo, mostly in English too. Very, very good promo. And the funny thing is, Tejano, he had a big run in AAA shortly before this, and he had cut a few promos, but they didn't have a lot of fire. And something about this we talk about this all the time, and this is what we were talking about last week that Red Velvet has to do. When you get the mic and they're going to give you a shot, don't blow it. And this is Tejano. And the reason why this is Tejano not blowing it. This is the reason why you see more of Tejano later. Because they gave him an opportunity the week before. They're giving him an opportunity here. He grabbed the mic. He worked really hard on it. He cut the promo in English, even though they told him he didn't have to. He went into Spanish a little bit, but it was great. It was perfect. It was exactly what this show should have been more often at this point in time. And he pulled it off. And, he cuts the promo on Chavo and says, I'm Mexico. I'm coming to get you, Chavo, and this, that, and the other thing. They had to swerve it, so Blue Demon comes out because Chavo was legit hurt at the time. And this is a really weird way to do it, but they did a really soft Blue Demon heel turn here. Exactly like we were talking about earlier, this is what I'm talking about when you get a heel turn. He comes in and cleans house from the crew trying to beat up Tejano, but doesn't actually touch any of them. Then they slide him a chair, acting like they're coming in. Then they put the chair in the ring. And then Blue Demon picks it up and starts threatening the crew with it, and then obviously turns and hits Tejano with it for a heel turn.
Yeah.
I mean, we all hated Blue Demon to begin with, so it wasn't hard to heel him out. They could have just had Dario walk out and been like, hey, guys, Blue Demon's a bad guy now. And it would have been equally as effective as whatever this nonsense was. And I just hated it because it took so much away from Tejano and the fact that he did a great job. But then Blue Demon, does his... You're not Mexico. I'm Mexico. You don't need to fight. I don't need you to fight my battles with Chavo. So now at Ultima Lucha, you have me instead. That's the moral of the story. So our final match, our headlining match for this episode, Johnny Mundo and Alberto del Petronio. So whatever his name was in this ADR, Alberto El Patron, were tasked with finding teams for an Atomicos match. And surprisingly, Lucha Underground actually made this feel a little bit like an Atomicos match, which I want to talk about a little bit more in a second because I think it's more relevant than the actual match itself. But you had ADR and his team was Drago, Aerostar, good choices, and Sexy Star. Babyface team.
Who?
Technicos. The Technicos team. Sexy Star. Then that was versus Johnny Mundo, who chose for his team Jack Evans, great choice. Superfly, decent choice. And Hernandez, also a good choice.
Would you think that this isn't the beginning of Worldwide Underground?
Yes, it actually is to me. And it's funny too, because Jack comes out and immediately Mundo tags out to Jack to heal himself out from facing ADR. Jack goes in and does a bunch of cocky, flippy shit, and then ADR just lays him out. And that is hilarious, perfect Jack Evans stuff. And you already see how well a guy like Mundo could be as the top heel with a guy like Jack under him. It worked perfectly. So yes, this moment right here may have very well, in fact, been the beginning of what became Worldwide Underground. Look, you get a real taste of Atomicos in this match for a little bit with Aerostar, Drago, Jack, and Superfly. So you get that, and they let that play out for a while. And then the whole thing breaks down into some kind of nonsense. But here's where what I wish Lucha Underground would have done right here. This is where they had an opportunity, and I'm sure Conan was probably backstage, and Chavo may have even been asking for it, or maybe not, because Chavo is more of a WWE guy, realistically. But they could have done something more like real Atomicos matches with some Atomicos rules, because in Mexico, if you're not familiar, Atomicos matches a lot of times have different rules where sometimes it's whoever, a guy gets a fall and he's out of the match, but the match keeps going. And sometimes you have to pin the captain to win, the captain of one of the Atomicos teams, or you have to pin two guys off of a team, or it's a 2 out of 3 falls thing. There's always like these further stipulations.
Yeah. And no tags, right?
Yeah, no tags at all. But there's no tags in Mexican, real Mexican Lucha Libre. And nowadays, it's not even like that. Lucha Libre has now adopted so many more American and Japanese rules that, the way it used to be is unless they said that it was that kind of match, American style tag match, then it was these kind of rules. And a lot of Atomicos matches traditionally too would be, one Technico on a team, and then you'd have an Exotico, a woman, and a mini. Sometimes it would be these different styles together too. But you go to a Lucha Libre event back in the 90s or 2000s, and it was like 6 Atomicos matches on the card. There would be like 40 luchadors at a show, and half of the matches would be Atomicos matches. And I like that Lucha Underground was bringing that style. And look, you got a big roster. This is a good way to serve the roster. And, if you're a fan of Lucha Libre, you better be into this kind of thing because this is part of Lucha Libre. Fast-paced, in and out thing. And they actually pulled off some of that. I was actually very surprised. We talk about these 8-man tag matches at AEW every week. Maybe they need to have Atomicos rules. And Lucha Underground kind of played it across both lines. But then you got guys like Mundo and ADR and Hernandez in there. And they wanted to work it more like a WWE style. All 3 of them. And they did. And that kind of ground it down to a halt, which is why I think they should have announced ahead of time that it was more of an Atomico style match, made clear the rules to American fans, and given us a little bit of that taste of that real Lucha Libre history. I think it was a missed opportunity to do that. And they really just kind of threw it out there, put the name on it, but still booked it like Americans would book it.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Like doing a mixed match halfway through.
Yeah. And I get it. Like Lucha Underground's supposed to be this hybrid of things, but the wrestlers themselves that are in there already show you that it's a hybrid of these styles.
Yeah.
So why not make the rule set a little more concrete in being just the Mexican style Atomicos match? It's the first time they've ever announced an Atomicos match on Lucha Underground, to my knowledge.
This is making me think of the birthday show that we're eventually producing. Eventually.
Yes.
That would be a great match to put on the card.
Okay, let's do it.
But what
A
happens
real
is
Atomicos match.
we do a real Atomicos match. They put on a good match, and then we come in the ring because it's our birthday, and then we pin every single person in the match. Because we're the promoters.
So
we're the only people. We're the only people we could count on as promoters. Okay, Byron, this could be really, really good. If we do that, can I heel turn and cake smash you at the end of it? Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I'm counting calories now, and I'm cutting out bread and sugar and stuff. So
I'm going to take the cake, aren't I?
If someone puts cake in my mouth, I guess I have to eat it, though.
I'm trying to do you a favor.
Yeah.
And then once you have the cake all over your face and you think the gag is over and you're all blind or whatever, that's when I have Ricky Banderas run in and freight train spear you.
We can always, instead of having a sponge in the middle, we can just put knives and broken glass.
I was going to put razor blades in there, but that's because that's when Casey comes out and turns it into a death match. Because that's when
Casey.
Casey comes out and he's like, "Hey, Ricky, before you do something, can I glue thumbtacks to your shoulders?"
Legion of Doom shoulder pad.
Yeah, and then he'll spear me. By the way, Ricky Medeiros is awesome, and I know people like to cast wrestlers in their short films and stuff in their web series. You should hit him up. He has the time and the interest, and that as you've heard us talk about, he has the presence. You get him on camera, people are going to be scared. So put him in your romantic comedy.
Who's me, Byron? Am I using this? Did I do this wrong?
Yeah.
I did this wrong again? Oh
But
my
it's-
God. It's amazing. Hold on. Let me see if I can switch it mid-show and make it sound better. This will be so hilarious. Byron is telling me I used the wrong microphone again. Now let's switch to this and see if it's...
At least we don't have a cat purring anymore.
Welcome to another edition of Mass Mats and Mayhem. That's totally better, isn't it? God, I am a bonehead. I am such an idiot. I apologize for the entire first half of the show. So here's what we're gonna do. Don't turn it off. Don't change anything. We won't edit this. We'll leave all of that show, but I'm just gonna start over from the beginning, and you guys just stick with us for another hour and a half. I'm kidding. Anyway, so this episode of Lucha Underground ended. Or this match ended with Johnny Mundo
getting a roll up on Sexy Star and having to use a handful of tights? Like, was that even necessary? And not even really doing it. He didn't even get the tights, but he was trying to make it look like he grabbed the tights, but she was wearing like a one-piece thing that was underneath the outer skirt thing. So there was nothing to grab. It was hilarious. And he's trying to make it look like this big heel thing that like he has to use grabbing the tights to pin Sexy Star.
Well, it's also like what I like about it is that maybe he doesn't need to, but he did it anyway. He's being a dick about it.
He was being a gentleman. He wanted to make it look like he had to go the extra mile to beat her. That was very nice of him. That was very gentlemanly of you, Mr. Mundo. Post-match, Penta attacks Vampiro with a chair during the wrap-up. Dumps a can of gasoline on him.
Can I tell you live?
Yeah. Talk us through it.
At the tapings, Casey and I Penta was our favorite. So we're like trying to figure out, is he in town this weekend? Is he in town this Sunday? Because he worked Saturday, that sort of thing.
Right.
And so you never really knew. We're like trying to figure out, where'd you go? So we're like, the taping for that episode had sort of wrapped up. We're like, oh, Penta wasn't on this one, and then they're doing just the boring commentary, wrap up at the end. And then you see Penta just sneak out, and I have the biggest shit-eating grin on my face. I'm so happy. And on TV, it's even better. He comes out, and he just fucking kicks Vampiro in the back of the head. Headset flies off. Oh, it was so great. And then he holds the gas can on him, and we're like, attempted murder.
It really was super murdery. Especially after we had already seen the bowling alley spot over there. That section got a lot of action in this particular episode. And storyline moved forward, and it was a hot story. It was the story at the time. If you don't accept, the whole world's going to see me burn you as a sacrifice to my master. Because I am Pentagon Jr. and I have zero fear. Or because Pentagon, I zero fear, or whatever he actually said. But whatever. Listen, man, it was great. It was good stuff.
You do what he says. You
absolutely do. Look, that's it. We got through a whole a Lucha Underground thing. So we'll be right back. I got a couple other things I want to go through. I want to talk about some of the bizarre things happening at the UFC this week in Abu Dhabi. So we'll be right back.
If you're listening to this and you haven't visited luchacentral.com, it's time to do it. LuchaCentral.com is the online home for Lucha Libre, where you can get all of the top news in English and in Spanish. Find the best curated video content and original content not seen anywhere else. Find when Lucha Libre events would be happening in your area. Find photo galleries from top photographers covering Lucha Libre around the world. From weekly polls to annual awards. Seen and read by top executives in all of the major Lucha Libre promotions across the globe. And on top of that, it's free. LuchaCentral.com, your centralized place for all things Lucha Libre.
You do realize the lead singer of Tin Lizzy was black, don't you, Byron?
I'm sorry, why are you saying any of this to me?
Because he was Irish and black.
And we're back. Hey, is this thing on? Is this thing on now?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Wait. Well, let me try that again. And we're back. You like that?
I feel really.
Or do I do it more? And we're back.
Wow.
Wow.
I feel bad that I didn't spot that off the top to tell you, because it still sounded good. I've been in the mountains for a few days, so also like.
Well, why didn't you just? Oh my God, Byron! See, look. So the whole time you guys were listening to this little microphone thing here on my headphones instead of this badass thing over here. Anyway,
part of me was happy as producer of the show that I was having the best audio on the show.
You probably were. Anyway, it just reminds me when I was in radio a long time ago. I used to actually do radio. I was the voice of Sunday at the Richfield Coliseum. 30,000 tons of mud. You'll pay for the holy seat, but you'll only use the edge.
If Casey was here, he would make that sexual related.
I'm sure. Well, it clearly is. I used to do that stuff, but so on air, like I would do PA, whatever underling stuff at the big classic rock radio station. But then on the weekends, they had a sister AM station where I would be the producer and kind of an on-air talent for a home and garden show with this married couple or whatever. And it was hilarious. I would field the phone calls and I would do the, hey, John, over on line 3, we've got Kip over in Alberta, and he's got a really interesting question about those petunias. You want to hear what Kip's got to say? So that was like my job. But they wanted me to be Irish. They wanted me to have an Irish name. They were like, you've got a great radio voice, kid, but we really think your name should be like O'Connell or, Dutch McMartin or something. And I was just like, what? Really? That's really? And they're like, yeah, all those Irish names that you hear in radio, none of those people are Irish. And I'm like, but first of all, I actually am a quarter Irish. And second of all, I don't look it at all. And that's stupid. Like, what's wrong with Justin Harvey? That's a radio-ish name, right? They didn't like that. So
it is a very white name.
Yeah, but is Dutch McConnell better? McMillan or O'Donnelly or whatever they wanted me to be?
The outlaw, L.A. McGillicuddy.
Yeah, I mean, it's entertainment industry is so duplicitous and weird. They were like, look, no one's ever going to see you. We just need you to have this Irishy name because home and gardening numbers will pop. Like we had a 2 in the Arbitron ratings. It was.
How do you actually say that? So someone's name is Oisin.
Oing.
Oh.
And it's like, do you know the name Siobhan? Spell it.
Siobhan. SHIOBHAN. Siobhan.
He knows, but it should be CHE. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Syoban.
Syoban. Yeah.
I have a question, Justin. As this producer, and they would bring you on the show, would they bring you on and just make fun of you? And that's why they're like, this would be more believable if you were Irish?
No, I actually made fun of them most of the time, but they didn't really realize it because I would just turn on my mic and chime in with things like, yeah, every rose really does have its thorn, John. I'm actually, so glad we learned that today.
They don't have a thorn.
Thorns.
Roses don't have thorns.
Why do you say that? The roses I grew up with had prickly things on the side of them.
Yeah,
they're not thorns.
What are they?
I can't remember.
Shark fin. Wait, you're gonna stop the show for a great piece of information. We're actually interested and excited about it, and then you do that to us, Meef?
Google it.
Meef.
Oh,
Meef.
Please Google it. I'm gonna go to another bizarre story.
Meef.
Meef. So a year ago.
Hold on, Meef.
What?
Fuck you.
You guys are terrible. Look, I got to go to this really bizarre story. Lots of fun, interesting things have happened with UFC recently, but nothing more bizarre and more fun than a friend of my other show from the NFL, Atman Azatar. He's a great fighter. He's one of Ali Al-Aziz's guys. And, when I had a bunch of those UFC guys come on my NFL thing last year with Justin Gaethje and Kamaru Usman and whatever, they brought Atman along. And Atman thought he was just going to play the side. I was like, no, dude, I'm going to put you on TV. Like, let you talk. And he loved it. He had such a blast because he's a young up and coming guy, but also not the sharpest knife in the drawer. This bonehead, and I can call him that. Hopefully he's not in the country because he is a scary, scary man physically. Zack Sabre Jr. not afraid of. Atman, afraid. Anyway, but he cuts his wristband, gives it to some other guy, and then this guy breaks into the super secure, facility that UFC has basically rented out the whole island, this whole place in Abu Dhabi. And he breaks in, basically. He uses this wristband to get in, scales a bunch of walls, goes totally Spider-Man with this duffel bag. And there's even some video footage of him running around and leaping walls and all sorts of craziness. And he deposits this bag in Atman's room. I don't know what he was smuggling in or what he was trying to do, but Dana White fires Atman on the spot. He is out of the UFC, out of his fight, which was great because his opponent then got another guy who had lost his opponent to a guy who blew making weight by a million miles. So it all worked out in the end, but it was just the weirdest, most bizarre story. And like this COVID age, like they're trying to protect these athletes. They're one of the few sports to figure out how to get up and off the ground pretty dang safely, and detect any signs of COVID before people got in. And then this bonehead gives somebody his pass to basically run in. But here's the other thing. He could have registered on his list as part of his entourage, unless he's bringing in something illicit, smuggling in drugs or women or who knows what was in that bag. I have no idea.
Woman was in the bag. My question was, because I'm not on the up and up with names, when I saw the Dana video and a friend sent it to me, I'm like, is this the Pokemon fighter? Did he forget his Pokemon ball and his buddy had to bring it in for the fight?
I don't know what was in the bag. That would actually be a good assumption for any casual fan. That's pretty good.
I've got it here for you, right?
Prickles
because they are extensions of the plant's outer covering. Prickles contain no vascular material and so easy to remove than thorns or spines.
So they're not thorns; they're prickles. No. Yeah. Well, you're a prickle for telling us, Dave. You're a prickle and a half. Thank you, appreciate that. Prickles, people. You learn something every week here on the MMM show. And by the way, if you are still listening to the show and you have not gone to luchacentral.com/2020 awards, you are not a denizen of deliciousness. If you consider yourself a denizen of deliciousness, you need to go over there and you need to vote for MMM show immediately. Immediately.
You tell all your friends to vote for the delicious daddies.
Bluetooth logo?
What Bluetooth logo? What?
Yeah, do you know the Bluetooth logo?
Yeah.
And where it comes from, the name Bluetooth.
No.
Harold Bluetooth, the Viking king, as the runes for his name, because he united the whole of Norway.
What has happened, Byron?
Our show is 4 hours long and you're doing this shit.
All right, so look, we used to talk about UFC on this show all the time, but one of the main reasons why we don't is because we typically record on Saturdays before any of the events, and then Meatloaf typically takes us down some dark alley and beats us up and then wonders why they ban him on Facebook for going down dark alleys. That's a callback. Anyway, so other UFC stuff. We used to talk about UFC all the time on the show. This used to be one of the things, and Casey is a UFC fan. These two guys don't watch a ton of it, but look, there's some big fans. Last week we had Max Holloway versus Calvin Kattar, and it was just an absolute masterclass in stand-up fighting. Super fun to watch. If you're a fan of that kind of stuff, Max Holloway doesn't really have the knockout power, so it went the distance, which was, I think, unfortunate for him. Didn't really make his case in a lot of ways, but also he just tore the guy up, and Kattar is not a bad fighter. And before that, you had the complete opposite style of match, which was Matt Brown losing to Carlos Condit in the closest 30-27 decision ever. 30-27 doesn't sound like it's close, but at the same time, any one of those rounds actually could have been given to Matt Brown, and any one of those rounds could have gone to Carlos. I see completely why they gave it to Carlos, but like Matt Brown has no reason to hang his head. That was actually a really close fight. What's that?
One's called Katara.
Who's called Katara?
It's one of the fighters called Katara. I thought it says Katara.
No, that was the other fight. Max Holloway versus Calvin Kattar.
Isn't it supposed to be Cutter?
Calvin Kattar, Kattar.
We're talking about Warbends now, are we?
Okay. I don't know. I just know I don't want to fight the guy. He's a badass. Anyway, that fight though was those two fights and this was not the 257 card. This was the week before. Those fights in the free ABC card. The first time that they've had any kind of combat sports on ABC in almost 20 years, which is amazing. Since 2000, literally. Anyway, but then it was those were interesting. Then you get to UFC 257. Michael Chandler came in from Bellator, and there's been a lot of hype around this guy forever. He's another one of these guys who was the best guy outside of the UFC, but not in the UFC. So every time he called himself the best guy, everyone was like, dude, you're not in the UFC fighting the best guy. So how do we know that you're the best guy? You're just saying you're the best guy. The last time the guy came in and said he was the best guy, Street Jesus put his knee in his chin and he was out cold and quit the business. Like that was the last best guy from outside the UFC. So we get this guy. Michael Chandler did not go that same route. Michael Chandler clowned the hell out of Dan Hooker to the point where Dan Hooker threw his gloves off into the ring afterwards, which is normally if you lay your gloves down, that's a sign of retirement. But like he got clowned that hard, and Chandler called out the world. He called out anybody close to his weight that was a superstar and was just like, dude, I've arrived. The best guy from outside of this place is here. I want to fight Poirier. I want to fight Conor. I want to fight Khabib. You just put a guy in here. I'm fighting him. It's great moment, which led to another very interesting moment: Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier.
Whoa.
We love to see everything that happened in this match. First of all, Dustin Poirier is a nice guy, super nice guy. His charities are amazing. Even Conor gave money to Dustin's charity. And here's the thing. This fight was close. Conor did not get clowned like Dan Hooker. Conor was 100% in this fight. He actually probably won the first round and was on his way to doing pretty good. But Dustin Poirier lit him up with leg kicks, which was a smart decision. In the short amount of time that Conor has not been in the ring, leg kicks have become more of a thing. And this is exactly what everyone thought Jose Aldo was going to do to Conor a long time ago. But Conor didn't give Aldo a chance. Conor forgot to not give Dustin Poirier a chance. So those leg kicks started to wear on him. But Poirier caught him with a couple of shots and then just followed up and raged on him and got the knockout. And even Poirier after the match said that probably wasn't smart. He didn't want to brawl, but he found he was, having some traction. So he just went for it. It won him the match. It kept Conor from having a chance to recover. And Conor, I said before this fight that it was Conor's fight to lose. It wasn't. Conor came in. He looked good. He had trained pretty well. It was just a factor of, the sport hasn't passed him by yet, but he was maybe missing a few things because he'd been out for a little while.
Well,
and
he said something about that after the fight, didn't he? I mean, I don't have a direct quote, but he was like, you can't part-time this shit. So, expect me to fight again this year. Like he was going to pick his ass up and get back to work.
I think he's got some winning fights left in him. I don't think this was a bad showing at all for him. This was not a rout by any stretch of the imagination. And Poirier did exactly the right thing, which was nobody was saying that he was going to go out and win this fight. Everyone that was saying Poirier was going to win was saying that Conor was going to lose, that Conor was going to do something wrong. Conor didn't do anything wrong. He left his foot out there, got kicked a few too many times, but that's not doing something wrong. He was getting strikes. He was effective. He was circling out to the left and still landing that big left hand. His takedown defense was exactly right. He was doing all the right things. He looked better than he had before in a lot of different ways. And very simply, Dustin Poirier went out there and found a couple of little things that gave him just enough of an edge to prove that on this day, he was clearly far and away the better man. He deserved to win that fight, and kudos to him. I love it.
We all love watching Conor McGregor getting punched in the face. So,
but do you Meave? So here's my question for you: being a
Mayweather or Conor McGregor?
No.
At the same time, I beat the other one to death with the other one's corpse. Done.
No, but a more realistic question. Conor was very gracious after this fight. Conor was very gracious in the lead up to this fight. He's been keeping his nose clean. Do you think?
How?
Do you think that there is a path for idiot athletes like Antonio Brown and Conor McGregor and these guys who make these just huge missteps? Do you think that there's a path to redemption for a guy like Conor McGregor? If he stays like this for the rest of his career, if he actually focuses and trains hard and is respectful in the ring and is just not a giant jerk anymore, and he's not beating up old men in pubs for not drinking proper 12 or whatever it is, and or potentially date raping, co-eds or whatever the heck he's been doing. Is there a path to redemption for a guy like that?
Nah, fuck him.
Great. Good answer. Byron, what do you think? That might be all it is to it.
There's a problem because we have these people, but the thing is what they then do is they just hide. The stuff gets hidden for them as they go down. They get better at hiding stuff. They get better lawyers.
He's a rich man. He's done a pretty good job at hiding the stuff he's already.
I think it boils down to we like entertainment, and people found a way to make money off of selling us entertainment. So pretty much any story could be concocted. So if someone if Conor McGregor needed to be a saint to pull in a buy rate on the next match, they would make him one.
Well, he was this time. He was a saint. I mean, he said he was going to give to Poirier's charity. He shook hands with the guy, even the stare down. He talked this much smack and then shook the guy's hand afterwards. And then he said nice stuff about him after the match and didn't, even his I've got ring rust thing wasn't, an excuse. It was an apology. He was saying, like, guys, I'm sorry. The ring rust was a little more of a factor than I thought. I should have won this match. I feel bad. I let down my team. I let down you guys, but I'm going to come back this year, give the fans what they want. You know, maybe me and Dustin will go a third time since we're 1-1. Like, that's all the right stuff. He said and did all the right stuff. Yeah. And I was surprised.
These people are a reflection of society.
Yeah, maybe.
So you've got loads of people, your reality TV, for instance, started a trend. It happened here as well, then, that people are fake characters, fake real characters. They pretend, they create a character, like wrestling, and they live that character, and sometimes the lines get too blurred.
Yeah.
So you start becoming more, because Conor McGregor isn't going to be, like, he's a piece of shit in terms of some things that he does outside and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But in general terms, that whole character, the bravery, is all part of selling tickets.
Which is smart. I mean, look, that's the smartest thing he's done. The smartest thing he ever did was talk a tremendous amount of crap and then really actually find ways to back it up for a year and a half when it meant the most. Yeah. And that was smart. And the fact that he took out Aldo the way he did made him a huge, huge superstar. You know, and look, if he had actually faced off against who was it, Rafael dos Santos or whatever, instead of Nate when that whole thing got turned around, that probably would have derailed his whole career back then, because I don't think he was ready for that then. But who knows? Like, look, the guy did it. He did it. He did what every athlete and performer or wrestler wants to do. He capitalized on the moment at the moment, and he actually pulled it off. And then he lost his mind because he made $1 million off the Mayweather thing. So.
That's the point where basically they end up going, like you said, too far, and then they get to a point where some people, you had a power couple on one of those MTV shows. I can't remember what they were called, but it was like not the real world, but it was like where they were dating.
Singled Out.
No, they were. It's like a real world thing, and I want to say New York or LA. But they were like,
yeah, well, it was like a Big Brother
over here.
show. It was the Brady Bunch guy, and then Adrian Curry.
No. You sent them over here, and they were on Big Brother the Celebrity, but like they were on some weird. It was supposed to be a reality TV show, but actually it was not. It was staged.
Script out.
Flavor Flav.
They were shit human beings because it was all about creating controversy. That the problem is everybody then fucking hated them and wanted them dead because they were actually pieces of shit and went to a nasty place on TV. And what they don't realize is the reality that you project is the reality that people perceive, and you end up being a piece of shit. And then they want to kill themselves, and bad things happen.
And if you're going to kayfabe being a heel and bring that into your real life and project it, then people are going to feel that way about you. You got to be careful, and you got to and this is why I don't mind some of the old kayfabe traditions going away at this point in time, because at this moment in history and with media and the way things are, you can't afford to actually go into your real life feeling like, Kevin Cross is an honest to God murderer. Like, you just can't do that. So at some point in time, he's almost got to break the kayfabe a little bit, just so you still know, like, hey guys, that's a TV thing. Like, I'm still just
is that why all of a sudden he's a fucking goofy cartoon character on NXT?
I don't know. Let's talk about NXT a little bit real quick. Just a little bit of WWE stuff. So first of all, Kushida looked great.
As always.
The perfect bridge, the most perfect bridge ever in the history of wrestling. Was just randomly on NXT. And going over on Gargano with Theory, just like the whole thing worked for me. I'm talking NXT here. Yeah. And Leon Ruff and Gargano clearly did not need to be in there. They've had the rub recently on other things and need to get out of there. So it was a good feeling. Anyway,
I do love Leon Ruff. Is hanging, and they're giving he's getting more airtime and match time, but he's not like the joke that he was at the very beginning, especially when Cross broke his neck. He's holding his own.
That whole little thing they did with him, and this is why NXT is so important to wrestling. Here's a kid who's been busting his butt. Everybody backstage knows it. Nobody out front cares. So you got to find a way to get him over. Kid listened, did everything he was supposed to do right, did his promos the right way, did his in-ring stuff the right way. They gave him a quick little push for a couple of 3 weeks. It absolutely worked. Now he's in the mix. You know, I don't ever expect him to take off and be gangbusters, but if you look at WWE, every now and then a comedy bit or an undersized wrestler or something they're doing can get over. And WWE does know how to do these things from time to time. And if you listen to them and follow it the right way, you just hope it's not, you know, Vince turning you into puke or whatever dumb thing that he's got up his sleeve, you know? And for Leon, it wasn't that. It was like, hey, your gimmick is no one takes you seriously, and we're going to force everyone to have to take you seriously for a couple of weeks on this show. That's it. That's the whole gimmick. And it worked. Carrion, Killer, Kevin, Cross. 4 Ks.
Okay.
4. I can go to 4, right?
He just has a habit of beating up black wrestlers with a black ref who has to count the 3 and raise his hand. Let's just be careful. Let's be careful.
It's all right, man. Look, make wrestling great again, Cross. Make wrestling great again. Carrion's a homie. Listen,
he's cool.
They finally, I think, well, he and Scarlett finally, or somebody finally got his ring entrance down in the new building in the CWC. This was the best one of the new era. Scarlett looked a little lost with the lip sync, but that's okay. It's fine. Still has never compared to the first time they came out with it.
Yeah.
And I almost want to see him on one of the big shows or at a big pay-per-view so that they can do that version again. But for the shorter, quicker CWC version, they finally did it right. Something that AEW takes 7 months to get right. They got right in a couple of weeks after he came back. The first couple times.
And she sang the song too. That's her on the track.
Yeah. Yes. So she should be able to lip sync it very well.
All right.
She looked like Evilise trying to lip sync Jericho's song this time. Scarlett did not do a great job. I love those guys. You know I love them, but I'm not going to not call her out on it. Bad lip syncing this week, Scarlett. Come on.
I was trying to give her props, and you figured out how to.
Scarlett's great. Look, Scarlett's going to be a superstar.
Yeah.
Scarlett's going to be a superstar. She just better not, leave our man in the dust, because it's happened to other wrestlers, and we don't want it to happen to Kev. Actually, we don't care.
What's happening?
Listen, Doomsday, time's up, forearm for the win. Now, we talked about this a few weeks ago where WWE makes you do things like stand in the corner and stomp your feet before you do, a super kick and things like that. So now, Roman Reigns has to cock the pistol before he does the Superman punch.
That's that weird rapey pounding his fists on the ground.
There's a lot of hard words on
So now Mr. Cross does a little tick-tock, time's up, and a back of the head forearm thing.
I don't like it.
I don't know if I do either, but I think it's here to stay, guys.
Here's the thing. I thought the first time looked okay. Cool. This one I thought looked like garbage, and I don't think it's necessarily his fault.
No, I just feel like this is weird agenting and it's coming from the back. I really doubt this is coming from him.
And like the opponent didn't stand up right and present right and all that stuff, and there's timing and blocking, and there's just too much up in the air to make this look good. And also, this guy he's a legit like power lifter, legit like strong guy, and also a legit fighter. There's a reason his punches look so awful. Is because he can and does not want to murder people, and now his finish is a fucking blow to the back of the head.
I know. And here's the thing. There's so many other ways he could do this and have the same effect. Like if he does times up and then does a Muay Thai elbow, something that would be a little more in his style. Like I get that a forearm, they're trying to make him look, like a legit cage fighter kind of guy. But the thing is, he actually has those skills. So why don't you let him actually use a modified version of one of those moves? Just like when he was using the cross jacket and doing a safe version of a rear naked choke and using the cross jacket. If he's going to do a times up elbow, let's at least make it a Muay Thai style elbow. And if you do a Muay Thai style elbow and you come down right here in the shoulder, you're not going to hurt anybody. He's not going to legit knock somebody out. But the back of the head thing.
Times up elbow.
At that point, he's depending so much on someone else, because he's not gonna, I don't know if he did, I don't remember, but I don't think he's gonna thigh slap, a super kick you could kind of make good if someone doesn't do it because
Right.
doesn't still right. You like clap and whatever, and people cheer. But I just think that it goes back to what you're saying at the end of the Damian Priest match, where Damian Priest, who's this big
Chunked it.
dude and couldn't even lift a cross up for a signature Falcon Arrow.
It reminds me of those forearms that people do where they do the punching, and then all of a sudden someone goes back, like hits the ropes, comes back with a big forearm, and they go back into the ropes. It just seems like that.
I love those forearms, but I don't think it's a finish. But I think like what you're saying though is you're like in Cross when they got to the finish, he's like, I'm gonna make this look good, and he just straight up suplexed the dude, no matter how much he weighed, and he made it look how it was supposed to look. And
it was like a deadlift Saito. It was amazing.
And I'm not saying, and I get, moving beyond the Saito for a finish. I get it, but that's also, that's a situation where he will make that look good no matter what.
Well, and I get this. The reason for this move, and you have to understand the way that WWE works and the writing is, it's like there's only 12 notes that a man can play kind of thing. Like you want a song to sound different, but at the end of the day, like it's 3 chords and you sing a hook over it. It's the same thing. When WWE writes matches, they want to have this thing. This is going to be his Ric Flair turnbuckle flip. This is going to be Penta doing the Cerro Miedo, but then not getting off the next move. It's going to become a little bit of a telegraph. You'll get the time's up thing. You want that reaction from the crowd of, ooh, Cross is going to do something. He's going to hit these things for a couple of months. And then, 50 million times in a row, you're going to see him try to do that. And it's going to backfire on him. And once he starts losing matches, which he will do, he will start losing matches and probably the not too distant future. It'll be a time's up and rush for the elbow and miss. And then all of a sudden he gets a super kick and a flippy shit thing. And he's lost, he's lost.
He's going to miss. He's going to hit the turnbuckle and someone's going to roll him up in a schoolboy.
Right. It's going to happen at some point in his career. It's unavoidable.
That is a good point with constructing a finish for your character, because you think of, I need to be able to hit it in so many different ways and make it look good on so many different opponents.
Right.
But as far as storytelling, you need.
But what I'm saying is I don't think this is going to stay a finish. I think this is going to be a story setup move and not an actual finish when you get the completed version of Cross, is what I'm saying.
But I like what I'm getting from your point is also like you also need a finish that could be countered to have that storytelling aspect, and his 2 finishes do not.
You can't do it with a Saito. How are you going to get out of that?
I don't, and no one should.
I get
the cross jacket shouldn't have a bunch of people scooting to the ring ropes. It shouldn't have a bunch of people escaping it. It should not, and it also shouldn't be the finishing move he uses every time.
Right.
And the Doomsday, yes, some people should get up from a Doomsday or 2, but it should also still be a big toward the end of the match move.
It's not kind of the MMA, legitimate fighter kind of feel.
Right. And
he would use any finish that's possible to him.
What I would say is yes, and he should, and I think Cross likes that idea too of using multiple things as finishes. But I would also say this: WWE should be very careful. And anytime he does a Doomsday into a cross jacket, it should stick, and he should get the win. If he does the 2 moves back to back, the other guy should never be getting out of it. And if they start doing that, it's going to be exactly. And if there's a spear and a jackhammer back to back, the guy should lose because that's the way you book Goldberg. And it should be the same way with Cross. So he sets up the Doomsday, and all of a sudden something happens that keep him from getting the cross jacket in. That's good in-ring storytelling. If you do that, I'm okay. But if you have him do both and then the guy is just scooting to the ropes like he's in some lame lion tamer or something, I'm not going to co-sign that. Anyway, it was interesting. Caden Carter and Casey Canizaro versus Tony Storm and Mercedes Martinez. This is the what the fuck match of all time to me. Casey Canizaro was that flippy shit black splash twisting finish a botch or brilliant?
No, that was brilliant. That was
move. She landed. She was flat, man. She went either 2 spins too quick or whatever. She landed. She was like this for like the last 5 foot.
That was a senton. What was it supposed to look like?
Okay, we were talking about Impact earlier. At their pay-per-view, Kiera Hogan and what's her partner's name? Anyway, they got a new name and everything. They got the cool ring gear, and they won the women's tag tournament over in Impact.
Is it Tasha?
Yeah, Tasha. Yeah. And they were so green, like on so many levels, and the match just like they tried to make it a good match, and they did all the right things. And I like that they're getting the push; they deserve it. But this felt like that to me. I'm watching this match, and I'm just like, what is going on here? This looks like the women's tag match in Impact, and it definitely should not. Am I crazy?
I don't understand her as a performer in terms of because I've never liked her actual in-ring ability anyway. I know she's like, I know she's that like old ninja warrior, but like you could literally snap her leg with one kick.
Right. But I think this was the first match that she's had where she was a viable character in a fighting thing.
I don't know, man. I'm gonna reserve judgment and see what they do with her from here. But I just was like, I had too many question marks after this match, and I shouldn't have those.
I thought she was gonna break her neck when she did that flip.
I love the finish. I was not expecting that over, so I was like, to me, that's the whole match. It's just that finish. I thought that was
I will agree with you. I wasn't expecting it either, but then once she did it, I was expecting it to have been better than it was.
I don't know. I mean, I thought that's what it was supposed to be. I have reservations over that being over doing a move like that and landing like that repeatedly, but I thought it was very impressive for high flying move. But we'll see we'll see next time she wins the match. If that was,
I'm not being funny, but if her opponent had been about 6 inches to a foot towards the center, she's not wrestling ever again.
Yeah, ever again. I'm with Meef on this one. All right. Bronson Pinchot Reed, the colossal one.
I love Bronson Reed.
Is now the human kaiju. Great gimmick. That's all I have to say about it. Top rope splash, huge for the win. HDF promo. Oh my God. Santos Escobar, perfect level of cockiness. Other champs other champs are stupid because they have to break curses. Genius. They have glass jaws. Super genius. Can't even make it to their first title defense. Double dig on Cross and Finn Balor in one statement.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about efficiency and effectiveness of words. Like, when did Santos Escobar become the perfect heel?
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Yeah, he's always preferred those characters, to be honest with you.
I mean, I should have started the show with this. I apologize that you had to sit through 2 hours of this or whatever to get to the point of where I say that
in the morning.
Santos Escobar is now the quintessential and perfect heel in wrestling. He is the best heel in wrestling right now. And look, I may not say that he's the best wrestler in wrestling right now. I still think that that's Rey Fénix, maybe Kenny Omega. I think that those guys are the top.
There's different levels of things, isn't there? You know,
there are, but he is absolutely the #1 top dog heel. That promo solidified it. All the work he's done in the last 6 months has been flawless, and this was the perfect cap off to that. And if they screw him out of his belt now and don't let him run with this thing for like another 2 years, they're idiots. They should just let him keep going until the end of frigging time. It's amazing.
I love it. As a fan, and me, I'll let you go for all you want to say about him in a second. But I just want to point out, as a fan, you see a show with a bunch of people who carry belts around, right? And they tell you how important they are. But he comes out and he's like, I'm a champion. And there are other champions on the show. And he's carrying the 205 belt, which kind of usually doesn't mean anything. And he's like, listen, I'm champion. And you could just look at my track record. I'm better than the other champions. And as a fan, you're watching, you're going, yeah, no, this guy is the best champion on the show.
Yeah, hands down. Easily. Like, he is where it's at right now. And look at this. Holy crap. Lucha House Party looking phenomenal against Imperium. Phenomenal. That was a great foil for them. Those two styles matched up perfectly. And Imperium knew exactly what to do with those guys. Big kudos to Imperium. But we actually are going to get Legado del Fantasma versus Lucha House Party, which me and Meef were talking about before. Like, if the bracket, like, you looked at the bracket and you were like, oh my God, they have to do that. And then I thought, oh my God, they're not going to do that and put Imperium over here. But Lucha House Party's been on a roll. They're getting wins. They're getting TV times. They're getting storylines. And sadly, I think Legado del Fantasma is going to run over them next week.
I think they're going to have a great match. But
for 2 weeks. It's in 2 weeks. Sorry.
I think they're gonna have a great match. I think they're super excited for it, which is why you see them and you see like Grand Metally doing so much cool shit because he has a reason to for now.
But so here's the question. Baron Corbin and Rey Mysterio aside, is WWE finally figuring out what to do with Lucha Libre a little bit?
We'll make no jinxes here. Okay. We'll never count those chickens until
in 2 weeks. We're getting a bona fide, real, honest to God Lucha Libre match, though, right?
On NXT.
Yeah.
On NXT. I'll take it. It's a start.
Yeah.
You never. Maybe Vince doesn't even know about this one segment.
Yeah.
Don't broadcast it too much. He might find out.
Every time he's like, "Okay, Hunter. So now on segment 4 on NXT, what's going on?" And he's like, "Oh, we have a brand new steak for you to eat. I'll talk to you afterwards."
Hey, did Adam Pearce really get pushed out of the title picture already? That happened? Like he had 1 week in the spotlight and the whole wrestling world was like, oh my God, this is a really great idea, WWE. Let this guy who was the NWA champ once upon a time have a shot at the big dog Roman Reigns. It garnered all this interest and then they cooled it by putting KO in the match instead. Don't get me wrong, KO is fire and Roman's gimmick is over right now, but is WWE so blind as to not see that there was actual heat? There was an actual build with this Adam Pearce thing?
One way or another, people want to see it.
Yeah, like just let it happen. Let some guy who has barely wrestled in the last 6 years get up there and be in a title match. They forget that sometimes that kind of hot shotting is okay. When the fans co-sign it and say, sure, I'll watch that and pay for it, it is officially okay. Just let it happen. I mean, even if the plan was KO the whole time, just look at Kevin and be like, sorry, Kev, this other thing happened and it's tremendous. We're going with it, bro. Take a back seat. Sorry.
I love that he had to put out a statement saying, thanks, guys. I shouldn't be fighting. I didn't want to fight, but thank you, everyone who was rooting for me.
Oh, man. I get, and who knows? I mean, there's probably a very good reason why Adam Pearce has a lot of juice with the brass and isn't wrestling. So maybe it is a better thing that he's not going in with Roman Reigns, who is actually looking phenomenal for Roman.
As soon as he got rid of the vest, it was the vest that was keeping him down.
I mean, look, this is the heel turn that everybody wanted for a long time. It's a shame it's not happening in front of a live audience. It would be over so huge. He could say 3 things in a segment and it would probably go on for half an hour with the chat.
Soda raining down on him. Oh.
I mean, I'm baffled at the timing, but everyone except WWE has known for the longest time that a well-done Roman heel turn was going to be huge. And guess what? It is. Big surprise. The guy is money. He's a good actor. He's a decent wrestler. He's got the charisma. He's got all the boys in the back backing him up. So everybody will come out and do a great job to him or for him or whatever he needs. Like, it's perfect. Jey Uso has been playing into it great, being a mouthy heater somehow for Roman. Whoever came up with that brilliant idea, he's running with it while his brother's on the side. It's really well done. And it's funny because now the KO thing is so anticlimactic. I feel bad for Roman because like KO is just not going to get him the juice at this point, and it's just going to be a match. So they're going to have to come up with something fun for the finish of this thing to get some kind of heat on it. Go ahead.
I was going to say that is kind of a bummer because KO has also kind of had that Cage sort of character where like he's such a great foil, and they did a great Heyman promo with him, building him up, and that's cool. But why don't you do that when he's getting the run?
Right. Yeah. We'll see. This is the weird WWE thing. This is why I also don't know how to feel about this current Shinsuke thing. Like Shinsuke cut a great promo a couple weeks ago with his talking to Jey Uso. Like, if you're the little cousin and he's the big dog, does that make you a little puppy? That's best English promo that Shinsuke's ever cut. And the way he did it with his weird thing, like Shinsuke Nakamura, by the way, has absolutely no sense of rhythm. It is amazing how little rhythm he has. He's been listening to that theme song for 5 years now and can't figure out how to dance to it yet. It's amazing.
Wait, Shinsuke hasn't figured out how to dance to something?
Yeah, Shinsuke has got terrible rhythm. He is one Return of the Mac shy of getting slapped by me for his bad rhythm.
First of all, go ahead and try.
I would. I wouldn't. I've heard Shinsuke is legit nuts and will bar fight ball and knock people out. He's a crazy.
I don't know. I think what happened was they're like, oh, we need someone for a program. So, Shinsuke, he does some stuff. Let's give him his old music and make him a main eventer for a few weeks.
I don't know. I'd like to see it keep going. I feel like he's got a run in him right now, and they need somebody in the mid card to have a solid run. So I think it'd be nice to see another fun thing with Shinsuke. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes. Anyway, that's it. I'm not even going to talk about D-Bry and Cesaro and other fun things that I would love to talk about some other time, some other place. Anyway,
Daniel Bryan wants to do a hair match at CMLL.
I'm just going to end with this. I hope to God I get to see Taya versus Charlotte one time. Just once. One match. And then Taya can go off and do reality shows with Miz and Maurice or whatever else she's going to do. But I think that I need to see that match one time. Bring her into WWE for one match at WrestleMania. How great would that be?
It would be great if Taya signed and got the program, got that one match, and then was like, I'm pregnant.
That's exactly what I'm expecting to happen, by the way. I think that's what I kind of is happening.
Maria and Mike Bennett fucking did it. And you know what? Good for them. They got a kid and great healthcare and some good paychecks, even though WWE was screwing them over the whole time.
Yep. It's the way it happens. So anyway, go to luchacentral.com/2020 awards. Vote for the MMM show because you had a good time. And you had Casey, you had Meatloaf, you had Byron, you had me. And until next time, stay calm. Yeah, I agree.
Wait,
until
what?
next time. What? Nothing, Byron. Nothing happening. Nothing to see here. Stay calm. Stay calm. Stay in the mix. Bye. Bye. Stay calm. Stay in the mix. Bye.
I don't know what Meat said.
You're fine. You're fine, Byron. It's all good.
This show could be over. I just want to know what he just said.
No, nothing. Nothing. Stay calm. Stay in the mix. Bye.